ESPN's Nick Wagoner.
They're still kind of in a holding pattern, but there's a really big shoe to drop that I think they're waiting for and have been waiting for a while, and that's with what happened with Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. I've been told by people on both sides of the Niners and in Garoppolo's camp that they're kind of just waiting to see how that plays out.
Nick Wagoner on KJ and Max. Deshaun Watson and the Browns set to play in Jacksonville against the Jaguars tonight, and Watson is expected to start for Cleveland. Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins will isolate for at least 5 days after testing positive for COVID-19. He'll miss Sunday's preseason opener against the Raiders. Cousins missed a regular season game last year after a positive test. Bubba Wallace, the only black driver at the NASCAR Cup Series level, will get a multi-year contract extension at 23XI Racing. Wallace earned the first pole of his Cup career at Michigan last weekend.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
One thing for sure that I do know is Saquon Barkley will have a job, whether it's with the Giants or another team after this season. I can't say that about Daniel Jones.
Get more from the guys Monday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville and on the YouTube. What? Did the eyes just got big across the way here?
I shifted all of the things. The second the camera turned on, I moved everything. So it looked like there was a volcanic eruption in the studio.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. So nothing.
I played golf this morning. All right. There were no beverages. All right. There's no beverages on the golf course. But
good.
It's been a
good
laid-back Friday.
Good. This is the Sportsocracy. We are heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Here in the Ingles Studio on 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. You can also see us everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That'll get you into the chat. Once you're subscribed to the channel as well, you can join the House of Reprehensibles. It's just a grand old time here in the Sportsocracy each and every weekday afternoon, 3 to 6 p.m., and we got a jam-packed show today because it's all football.
It's all NFL. We're not talking about anything else.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I have an air horn. You start talking about baseball, I'm going to sound it very loudly.
You don't have to worry about that from me. Baseball season's over. It's football season time. Last night we had 2 preseason games, and the New England Patriots are bad. And the Titans and the Ravens, their depth looks pretty good.
I'm going to say this is clear. This was my grandiose takeaway from last night between the 2 games. And there was one in each game.
Okay.
One, if you're one of those people losing their mind about Malik Willis today, stop immediately. But the run, it was against 11 guys that most likely will be working at the Home Depot 3 months from now. Calm down.
Mm-hmm.
The other is, you remember that thing I've said about Bill Belichick for about the last 5 years?
Yes.
Of if you keep playing with fire of this, you're smarter than everybody else, eventually it's going to bite you right in the tuchus. The dog is approaching and the bite is coming.
Yep.
I've heard the clip from last night on every show today. Don't care what network it's on. Don't care what time slot it's in. I've heard it on every show. So you have there is one potential saving grace. You better win, and I don't think you're going to. Mm-hmm. Because if you keep doing this and you keep being as defiant, when a media member asks you, who's calling the plays? And you just go, we're going through a process. You sound like a schmuck. So when you do that and win Super Bowls, okay, you're like Jim Morrison. You're a little eccentric and you're different. And that's your process. When you do it and go 5-12, you're a moron. Mm-hmm. And there is no in between.
And I don't think there's much chance that they're going to go better than 5-12.
I agree.
I mean,
agree.
I said this yesterday when Caleb was in here for the first hour of the program of what the New England Patriots, the reports are that they're awful on offense. So why am I jumping too far saying that that's why they held out the starters last night? Because they don't want you to see how bad this thing is right now.
That had nothing to do with it, in my opinion. But it's just, this is the preseason. Some people don't put anything into the preseason. It's fine.
But you would think
But there is so much dysfunction in New England that I can't fully wrap my head around it.
You would think you would want that experience, though, that game time experience if you're dealing with trying to call plays on the sidelines and getting it in and everybody understanding their place. You'd think you'd want to have some of that.
You would think. But no, it's Bill the Great. Bill knows better than everybody else.
Right.
Oh, I'm just going to sit back and laugh and laugh and laugh.
Oh, gosh. And so last night, we had 2 preseason games. Tonight there are 4 of them.
Yep.
Is that correct?
There's at least 4. 5.
There's 5. 5 of them.
Including my 2027 Super Bowl champion, Jets.
You got the Jets at the Eagles at 7:30 tonight. You'll see Atlanta, Detroit, Cleveland, Jacksonville, Arizona, Cincinnati, and Green Bay, San Francisco.
I will be breaking out the quad box for the first time with my DC streams this evening.
Yes.
I posted the picture last night of watching both preseason games at the same time because I was getting inundated with messages of where can I find the preseason games? Well, if you do television the way we do television, you just watch them. You just watch them live.
Exactly. One low price per year, and you get all of the channels, all of the live channels that you can handle.
Or, you can do I'll just sit around and wait for it to play on Sunday.
Right.
I'm not going to do that.
Like, I immediately turned it over to the NBC affiliate in Baltimore last night to watch the Baltimore and Tennessee game with DC streams.
I watched it live. I was nice and asleep by 9 o'clock and had seen all of the things I needed to see.
Right.
I had to wait till Saturday for when the NFL Network replays this.
Yeah. Exactly. So, if you're interested, you can hit us up at the Sportsocracy.
We'll tell you. Yeah. It's not a secret.
We both have emails. You can email us, Tank and Jeremy, at the Sportsocracy. Just Tank at thesportsocracy.com.
It's easy to figure out.
It's very easy. Jeremy's is the same. So anyway, if you're interested in that, you'll be able to watch all of the games live. Now, regular season, same thing. You don't have to just rely on the Fox game of the week or whatever. No Sunday ticket package. You don't need none of that.
None of it.
DC Streams can help you out.
None of it.
Preseason action tonight. That means we're going to have full gambling picks coming up later on in the program.
Yes, we are. Thank you, Baltimore Ravens. I thank you.
We will sparse in all of your favorite segments just a bit outside. Weird, don't do crimes. But today's going to be all about the preseason power rankings in the NFL because, it's just what we do.
It's our official release of the top 32 in the NFL.
The top 32.
Well, I'm trying to make Bears fans feel better because your team is on the clock.
It's dog water.
It's the worst team in the NFL.
It's not even close.
I want to agree with you that it's not even close.
You think it's close?
I do think it's close because I think there's 2 other teams that are, I'm not going to say equally bad. They're just slightly less bad. But it's close.
Okay. Maybe I'm projecting a little bit here because I feel like there's a glimmer of hope for the other teams that I have at the bottom. I don't see a glimmer of hope right now for the Chicago Bears.
Oh yeah, and it's not even warm. Like you're not even in a nice warm city.
And I don't feel
it's
like
it's about to be a catastrophic winter in Chicago.
Right. Here's the problem. I don't feel like there's a turn coming. I feel like this is the start of what could be god awful for years to come.
Well, the thing you have to remember about Chicago, and I will give you a glimmer of hope. Next offseason, you have a gajillion dollars. So if you can sell people on Justin Fields, if you can do just enough in the 2022 season to keep snowing people that Justin Fields is a good NFL quarterback, there will be people that want to play with him a year from now.
But do you think that that's going to happen?
Yes. Money.
No, I'm saying, do you think that there's going to be a legitimate argument that Ryan Poles can make to free agents that Justin Fields could be something? Do you see a step forward year for him?
There's only one way that I can equate this, and I saw it in a documentary not long ago. It's Jesus and the Toast.
Okay.
You remember the woman that swore she had a piece of toast that had Jesus' face in it?
Yes.
You can see whatever you want to see if you want to look hard enough. Now, I think they're going to be an abject disaster. I'm talking worst NFL team you've ever seen in your life. And the only reason that they won't get completely raked over hot coals is because I think there's two teams that are in the same ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
This might be the most hopeless franchise I've ever seen. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because I cannot point to anything and go, well, at least you're young at blank. ESPN did a list of top under 25 cores in the league.
Yeah.
I think Chicago was 30. So not only are you bad, you're bad and reasonably old.
Mm-hmm.
That is a horrid combination.
I think the Roquan Smith thing, the way that this has all gone down, is going to be a sign of basically the apocalypse for the Chicago Bears. This has already put a stain on all that money that you have to spend in free agency next year.
Well, I mean, the Roquan thing, that's another in the toast ideals. He's an off-ball linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic for the teams that are after him. Baltimore, Denver, those are contenders. You're awful. Having one off-the-ball linebacker that's your best player is kind of like having a really pretty deck on the front of a dilapidated house. Well, we can sit outside. Well, we could, except I'm afraid that the house is going to cave in and then we'll all die. And that's just how I look at the Bears. It's a miserable spot to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it was not predictable, except for the fact that I predictable it about 4 minutes after you drafted Justin Fields.
You did.
Fact or fiction, this has gone exactly how I told you it would.
Pretty much. It
Vic
has gone that way.
Fangio,
But when they hired Ryan Poles, you also were, this is a good hire.
I'm not sure it's not a good. I'm not sure it's not a good hire.
Well, the start has been god awful.
He has been spoken very glowingly about inside the room.
Mm-hmm.
The Roquan Smith thing, you didn't handle it right. But a young GM. I'll be honest with you, I think Joe Douglas is one of the best GMs in the league. First year there, he made some boo-boos. GM is not like coach. I will give you some mullies in the first year as a GM. I want to see what you do a year from now. But in terms of this year, I don't even have anything to give you hope on. Now, after the break, we'll tell you who the next two teams are. And they do have at least just a glimmer. There's a glimmer of hope. You got a couple youngsters that you feel pretty good about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Chicago doesn't have. That's why they're number 32, and you're the other 30s.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingles Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingles Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
As a marketer, you want to reach everyone. Adults, teens, millennials. But it's not like these groups all hang out in the same place, right? Actually wrong. They're all right here, listening to radio commercials just like this one. Radio ads connect with 93% of Americans every week. That's more than Google, more than Facebook, more than TV. In fact, radio reaches 20% more millennials than TV. Want more of the people you want to talk to all in one place? Visit iHeartAdvertising.com and get AM/FM working for you. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Hey folks, DG here asking you to give yourself the gift of Asheville smiles here in 2022. Studies have linked untreated gum disease to heart disease, erectile dysfunction, systemic diseases, premature birth, joint issues, and much more. Everything is connected, and seeing a dentist every 6 months is important for your overall health. For top-notch dental care from Dr. Rebecca Merrill here in Asheville, call 828-251-2426 or AshevilleSmiles.com.
COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too. If you feel symptoms, even if they're mild, you should test fast. Test positive and at high risk for severe COVID-19? Then act fast with authorized oral treatments that can be taken at home and must be taken within 5 days from when symptoms begin. COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too by asking your healthcare provider if an oral treatment is right for you. Learn about a treatment option at treatcv19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Oh, are you seeing these readings? This is incredible.
Short-staffed, Marco's climate research facility is in the eye of the storm. The atmospheric pressure to find more weather specialists is mounting.
Man, this is going to be a big job. We're going to need a bigger team.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
And football season is back. We got the preseason NFL power rankings being revealed today here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. The Chicago Bears, in my opinion, are a distant 32 in the power rankings. Jeremy, you believe it's a little closer. Maybe I'm being too hard on the Windy City.
No, I just don't think you're being hard enough on the other two.
Okay.
No, there's nothing you can say that is hard enough on the Bears. You can say, are you trying to be bad? And I can't dispute that.
Mm-hmm. All right, who do we have officially listed at number 31?
This was closer because I couldn't figure out which one's 30 and which one's 31. And so I'm going with I like the youth and the cheap of one of you better than I like the other. That was the only tiebreaker I had because I don't think either one of them is very good.
Okay.
31's the Seattle Seahawks. And I think you're doing this on purpose. At the luncheon for the Asheville Championship yesterday, I met a girl that is named Alex, I think, that's from Seattle. Mm-hmm. And she was asking me, what do you think about the Seahawks? I know a lot of beat writers out there. I said, I genuinely think you're doing this on purpose. I think Pete Carroll is listening to the Jeremy Greene piece of advice of if you're going to be bad, bad. Because you add Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, and all of a sudden I look at the team completely differently. Completely. I'll tell you a stat that I had not heard until earlier in this week. There is a 95% chance that the Seattle Seahawks are going to start Charles Cross on the left side, Abraham Lucas on the right side. That's two rookies. Mm-hmm. Do you know how many times the team's done that since the merger? Since 1970, how many teams have started week one with two rookie tackles?
I'm going to guess none.
3.
Really?
And one of them was an expansion team.
Wow.
And I'm looking at that going, Pete Carroll's a smart dude.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing? I'm developing these guys. I'm doing what expansion teams do. I'm giving young players the opportunity to prove themselves. If they do, I know I have that piece. A year from now, I'll have money and a quarterback, and we can proceed on. Mm-hmm. This year's going to be ugly. It's just the way it is. It's the reason that they haven't pursued Garoppolo. They didn't pursue Baker Mayfield. They want to go Geno Drew Lock. Maybe we strike lightning in a bottle and Drew Lock's better than we thought he was. Maybe Vic Fangio is every bit the idiot we thought he was. And that's the reason he didn't work out in Denver. Likely? No. Possible? I guess. So you just take the lumps this year, and a year from now you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Which is exactly how I also feel about number 30, the Atlanta Falcons.
For me, Atlanta's the 31 in the scenario. I don't know. I can't really quantify why.
I couldn't find anything that I liked Seattle better than Atlanta. I feel like Atlanta will be able to run the ball better.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the two weapons for Atlanta are younger. I like that better.
Right.
Plus, I think Drake London is really, really good.
And I don't think you're wrong. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, it's very enticing.
And there's actual hope at quarterback. I know exactly what Geno Smith is.
Oh, absolutely.
Desmond Ridder could be better than that. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah. Current roster, absolutely, I'll agree with you. They're still going to be bad, though.
Yeah, they're not good.
They're still going to be god-awful.
Yeah, they're not good.
And so the Atlanta Falcons, I see these teams very similarly.
I do, too.
I think
those are the two teams that get the young quarterbacks.
Right. You have a couple of pieces that I can cherry pick and go, this is good, this is good, this is good. If I could put you both together, I feel like I would have a 5-win team. If I could take the best pieces of each roster and put them together. You're still not going to have a quarterback between, but I feel like I would have a team that could better compete than these two are going to this year. But it's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan.
I don't think Atlanta's doing this on purpose, though.
I do. I think they have a 5-year plan. I think Atlanta has a 5-year plan. That's how they got Arthur Smith to take this job.
Mm-hmm.
I think, ask yourself this. He was the hottest coaching candidate in the league. How did you convince him to take a roster that is this bereft of talent and was in cap hell?
Because you assured him that he was going to have job security.
Because you told him you were the safest human being that's not in WITSEC on this planet.
Right.
And that's not wrong. And I'll be honest with you. Arthur Blank never gets the credit for being one of the best owners in sports. I believe he should. That's what good owners do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't go, we're going to recycle coaches every presidential term. Find the guy you want, give him the pieces to succeed, and build the franchise out. Took him 2 extra years to fire Dan Quinn from when we thought they should. It's because it's who Arthur Blank is.
All right. Seattle Seahawks at 31. Atlanta Falcons at 30. 29.
This should prove how much I actually like this quarterback. It's the Houston Texans. Because that roster is horror-awful.
They're not good.
I actually did a comparison to the Jacksonville Jaguars roster in 1996, their expansion roster.
Mm-hmm.
It looks exactly like Jacksonville, or exactly like Houston, excuse me, because they had the franchise left tackle, which was Baselli,
mm-hmm.
and all of the pieces line up. Well, you have one receiver. Well, they have one receiver. You have a couple players on defense. Well, they had a couple players on defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Now, I would love to say there's going to be an upheaval there, except for the fact you just did that with your coach. And I don't think you can be known as the franchise that fired 2 coaches after 1 year.
No, Lovey will be around for a little while.
2 years.
Yeah.
I think you have to get to 2. And he's 64 years old or something like that, so maybe that's why you did it.
I would think you push it to I would think your line would probably be, let's hope for 3 and some progress to be seen. But
I would agree.
But there is no progress.
But I don't like the chances of that.
You have Brandon Cooks. You have a weapon on offense.
And you have Dameon Pierce.
Well, yeah.
Who is a dog.
We're hopeful.
I've seen video. I've seen photographic evidence of it.
Uh-huh.
Dameon Pierce is a dog. If you're in fantasy leagues, you're drafting fantasy football this weekend, Go to our Facebook page, get the Bullets Money Making Draft Kit, because that's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
You could have paid zero attention to football all off season long. Just take that with you. Done so. But also target Dameon Pierce, because he's going to be very, 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 very good in this league.
I believe he will as well, but right now that's projection. I'm talking about things you know about
You
this
worry
team.
way too much about things you know. In the NFL, there's not a lot of things you know. And I'll carry that theme throughout just to kind of prove my point, because I can say that same thing, not about every team, but about a lot of them.
Right.
In the salary cap era, there's just not a lot of things that you know. Other than, as Patrick Holt said in our YouTube comments, Kirk Cousins has Rona and will not play against the Raiders. That you know.
Houston Texans, not much there to talk about. I mean, Davis Mills, he's probably the surprise of the last draft class to me. You kept talking about how much you liked him, and I never believed you. I was like, come on. Dude's going to be a 4th, 5th round pick, and he's going to come into the league. He'll never play. He'll never be worth anything. And then he comes in, and he's actually okay.
He's a serviceable NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that he's ever going to be a star.
No.
I don't think he ever will be a star. But he's fine.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
He's better than you were doing with Tyrod Taylor.
Right. Ryan Fitzpatrick proved how you can just come into this league and be there. You could be a guy that can be counted on every now and then and be there for – what was it, 15 years?
And I kind of look at Davis Mills that way. You're kind of a gamer quarterback that's better than anybody gives you credit for. You're not a star, but you can do things. It's just the rest of this roster is terrible.
28.
The New York Giants.
It's just hard to get around that this team's gonna be bad. I mean, they're not gonna be Chicago Bears bad.
This is where we start a run of teams that, yes, you're low, minus a couple exceptions. Yes, you're low, but things are going to get better. Hopefully. The sun will come out tomorrow.
You hope so, and I don't think it's going to come out.
I saw things last night. I'll be really honest with you. I saw things last night.
Okay.
Saquon Barkley, dog. In the handful of carries I saw, I went, I am so glad that I am so overweight on Saquon Barkley. He's going to have a tremendous year. And you saw virtually nothing else. Now, Kenny Golladay, I don't quite feel the same way about him. He looked like a guy that got his check and is just showing up so he doesn't get fined.
And I don't think that I still don't believe in the quarterback. I still don't believe that Daniel Jones is going to do anything this year that's going to prove that he needs a job next year in this
Well, he's
league.
not Bailey Zapp bad.
I didn't say he was.
Yeah, Bailey Zapp looked like he won a fan contest to play 2 quarters for the New England Patriots last night.
Yeah. I mean, but obviously you're expecting different things out of these guys. Daniel Jones was a first-round draft pick, which was ridiculous. He shouldn't have been.
I was being funny.
We know. We know.
There is hope with the Giants. There are young pieces. I think you're going to see them. They're being kept in mothballs. I looked for Wan'Dale Robinson just like you did. I looked for Kadarius Toney just like you did, and they were kept in mothballs. I do believe that offense is going to be better than people think, and they're going to be a headache. Are they going to win more than 5 games? I doubt it. But they will not be an easy win, and I do think you're going to see improvement from what you've seen in the past.
The biggest piece of hope to me for the New York Giants is not that Saquon looks good, which is a positive. It's not the stars on defense or the young guys that you have on defense that could develop into stars. Kayvon Thibodeau, Azeez Ojulari, those guys. It's Brian Daboll. That's the glimmer of hope that you have. That now you feel like you finally have the coach that can bring you back to relevance in the NFL. It's not going to happen in a year, and it won't happen with Daniel Jones, but you can trust Brian Daboll to find that guy next year. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, that cooler, lower humidity is coming on in from the northwest, and doesn't it feel good? Northwest winds and 58 degrees tonight, and all the storms down in South Carolina and Georgia and south of us for a change. Partly cloudy Saturday, high 79, mostly cloudy Sunday, 80, and the thunderstorms return next week, Monday, Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Pro Football Hall of Famer and three-time champion. Trust me, I know about joint pain.
Pro Football's all-time leading rusher Emmitt Smith talks about chronic joint pain and exciting new regenerative treatments from QC Kinetics.
I know what it's like to fight through pain, but now, you and I, we have help. QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced, all-natural regenerative medicine that can give you lasting relief with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Do you suffer with constant pain from arthritis or injury? Pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or lower back? Don't assume steroids, pain meds, and surgery are your only options. Regenerative, restorative, natural solutions are now available.
Don't let your joint pain keep you from doing the things you love.
Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation and learn how regenerative medicine can repair and restore damaged joint tissue.
Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmitt Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
It's the Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway. And it's a cutoff race in the NASCAR playoffs. You remember what happened last year, right? September 17th. Go to bristolmotorspeedway.com and get your tickets before they're gone.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. And before we get just a bit outside, I want to make an announcement because today's a big day for me. I am now under 210 pounds. I now weigh officially 209 pounds, and it's all thanks to the PhD Weight Loss Program. PhD Weight Loss has helped me lose the weight since Thanksgiving with their high-protein, no-sugar meals, and 80% of the food that I need to have success on a program is provided to me by PhD Weight Loss. It's the greatest experience I've ever had with a weight loss program. 86 and some change is what I'm down.
I had slightly different weight loss goals than Tank, but I had a landmark day today as well. I did something that I haven't done a handful of times in 5 years. I played golf before I came to work because thanks to the program and the plan at PhD, I'm in good enough shape to do that and still actually get a work day in. I'm back to my high school weight. I'm feeling fantastic, and it's all thanks to PhD Weight Loss.
Dr. Ashley Lucas is the mastermind behind it all, and don't forget that you can get her book right now. Go to myphdweightloss.com. Her book is now an official Amazon bestseller, best-selling author Ashley Lucas, 5 Steps to Reset the Scale. MyPhDweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
Boy, you
You must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
You know, Carolina Panther fans, you may not have the best team in the world, but you feel like you're always in the moment. You feel like you're just always right there, one step away from a win every time you're in the stadium, unless you've had a little too much to drink. And then you turn into jackwagons. Not all of you, but we've all seen the videos. There seems to be 3 or 4 every year from the Carolina Panthers. It makes its way around on social media of fans just duking it out in the stands. And this almost happened last night at FanFest. They had a stadium full of fans, and all the players are out there doing their FanFesty things, doing their last practices and stuff before the big preseason opener. And 2 fans in a front row down toward the end zone just started getting into it, jawing back and forth. And the one person, or the last person you would have expected to step in and bring some calm to the situation was wide receiver DJ Moore. DJ, he scaled the wall to get up in these guys, well, not in their faces, but to get in front of them. He's leaning on the railing. You can see the social media videos out there, TikTok and Twitter, that's all over the place right now. If you just search DJ Moore, and he is leaning against the railing, just trying his best to talk some sense into these 2 guys. Now, we don't know if there was a fight that happened after they were initially kept from fighting in the stands. But it appears DJ has played peacemaker here. And that vaults him to number 1. I think he's now number 1 favorite Panther. Just for keeping the peace.
I would agree with that.
So today, the just a bit outside story of the day is the hero of the day, and it is Carolina Panthers wide receiver DJ Moore.
Former Tennessee Volunteers head football coach Jeremy Pruitt has gotten a lot of shade from me on this show. Former Florida State assistant, great defensive mind. Maybe not the greatest decision maker you've ever seen. However, he did make a great decision yesterday. He played in the $1,100 buy-in World Series of Poker event at Harrah's Cherokee Casino.
Okay.
Mitzi from Barstool Sports spotted him at Harrah's. And not only did he play in it, there's not a result yet, so I'm assuming it's still going.
Mm-hmm.
He was 20th around noon yesterday.
Wow.
And had made it into the final 30.
That's
so
impressive.
Not only did he play in it, he was doing reasonably well. So, with all the shade I've thrown at him, I got to give you one bit of flowers. You chose the right place to play your World Series of Poker invitational event, which is Harrah's Cherokee Casino.
There you go. Nice. I was trying to see.
Now, my question is, did you go into the sports book, which is out of this world, and do some Jeremy Greene kind of things? Because that would be another set of flowers.
Right. So I'm just looking at the schedule here for Harrah's Cherokee Casino. Apparently this event runs through the 15th. That's a long tournament.
I could see that.
Okay. All right.
I mean, this part of the event was down to 27 contenders at noon yesterday, so I'm going to say it's probably...
Oh, it's a series of poker tournaments that are World Series of Poker events that are happening at the casino. Okay. Because it said it started on August the 4th. I was like, that's not one tournament. I know poker games last a long, long time, but it's not that long. So that'll all wrap up at Harrah's Cherokee Casino on Monday, apparently. But Jeremy Pruitt, top 20. Nice.
It's impressive.
That is pretty impressive. Just wish he could have been that good,
you wish he was that good of a head football coach?
Right.
Yeah, we're all good at what we're good at.
Right. Some people are just more cut out to be coordinators, apparently. Jeremy Pruitt, he falls into that category. It is the 2022 preseason Sportsocracy NFL Power Rankings. And,
we're to number 27.
Number 27. We've already done the Giants, the Texans, the Falcons, Seahawks, and the god-awful Chicago Bears. Who's 27?
The Carolina Panthers. Sorry.
It's hard to be more optimistic about a team when you have this quarterback sharing thing going on right now. Oh, but don't worry, Panther fans, you're going to get to see it.
6 to 8 snaps of them.
6 to 8 snaps for each Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold coming up on Saturday. And don't forget, you can hear the game on our sister station, News Radio 570 WWNC. I believe the coverage of that on Saturday is going to start at noon on WWNC. So
here's the thing. I'm going to say this as clearly as I can. I have good sources. I think the 2.5 years we've been doing this has bared that out.
Mm-hmm.
They've both been awful. Awful. Sam's more consistent. Baker's got a few chunk plays. Other than that, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to break it to you. It's not going to go well. If you want me to sugarcoat things for you, that's not who I am. So, yes, you have a lot of pieces. A, you need a new coach. B, you need a new quarterback. Here's the silver lining there. If you're looking for a silver lining, next year there will be a slew of young quarterbacks and a slew of worthy coaching candidates.
Will they be bad enough to take advantage, though, of the quarterback class? They're going to miss out on the top two. Carolina's
They'll miss out
not
on Bryce
that
Young and C.J. Stroud because they're not that bad.
Right.
Here's the thing. I would argue the second tier of quarterbacks, obviously before this season has happened, this is just looking at the prospects, there is a better crop than I've ever seen before.
Mm-hmm.
There are 9 guys that I could legitimately see going in the first round. 3 of those are going to fall by the wayside. It's just the way it works.
Mm-hmm. So what of that group could the Carolina Panthers end up with? Will it be Tyler Van Dyke? Will it be Will Levis?
That's the category you're in.
Right. That's where you're looking at. That's your honey hole to start investigating throughout this season. Who's the next quarterback? Stop it with the talk of, Baker can come in here and prove he's going to be our franchise guy. That's not going to happen.
No. Unless there's a Space Jam ball somewhere hidden in Charlotte that has Patrick Mahomes' talent in it, that's not going to happen.
The number one thing you want to see from the Carolina Panthers this year, your best hope for the Panthers this year.
I want to see the defense be as good talent-wise as I think it is, in spite of the fact they're going to routinely be put in bad situations.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically, it's not going to look the way you want it to. Just look at what Sam did to you last year. When Sam fell off the wagon and all of a sudden turned into the turnover machine that he was with the Jets, what happened? All of a sudden the defense didn't look so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's constantly on the field, constantly in short yardage situations. What you want to see is the talent develop. I want to see Derek Brown be what I was sold that he would be. I want to see Jeremy Chin take another step forward. I want to see J.C. Horn play a full year. I know what the offense is. The offense, I think, is fine minus quarterback. The problem is that's 40% of what your offense is. So I would argue there's no team in the NFL that I wish you could buy futures on a year in advance. I wish there was a way for me to wager on their win total next year,
mm-hmm.
because I think it's going to be exponentially higher.
My number one hope for them is that I hope the offensive line and the moves that you've made are going to be as good as I think they are in my head.
I think Scott Fitter is doing good things.
Mm-hmm.
He just hadn't found the quarterback yet.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst part for Carolina, the reason they're so low, usually a third of the NFL it has a question mark at quarterback. You can kind of one hand the number of teams in this league that have a question mark at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you they're going to be the solution, but they have the guy in their opinion. Carolina doesn't.
Yep. And obviously, health. T's and P's for the health of Christian McCaffrey. That's the only real offensive hope that you have this year. At number 26.
The New England Patriots.
Oh, man. Is it this bad?
Yes.
Are they this awful?
Yes.
Has
They're
Bill
this bad.
driven this into the ground?
I will die on this hill if I have to. I've said this for years, and everybody always just tells me, oh, no, you're a Jet fan and a Bill hater and a blah, blah, blah. No, I've done this for a minute. I've watched coaches fall by the wayside when they think they're smarter than everybody in the league. Chip Kelly did it to a weirder extent. Jim Harbaugh did it. Bill is a different guy because he's been in the league forever. Here's the thing nobody ever seems to want to talk about. You take Tom away, he's been a great, big, mediocre head coach, and now he's a mediocre head coach with an attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the schedule. Through October, you go at the Dolphins, at the Steelers, Ravens, at the Packers. That's 0-4, and I don't see any way that it's not. Then you get the Lions, who I think are better than you, at the Browns, Bears, at the Jets. I can see a path this team's 1-7 with one win over the Bears. And it does not get any prettier on the backside.
Mm-hmm.
This team's going to win 6 games at best. At best. I am so overweight on under 9.5 wins that I'm to the diabetic spot. That's how overweight I am. And I'm going to just print money on it because I'm right, and I know I'm right.
Right.
You cannot have a quarterback that's this limited that doesn't even know who's actually calling the plays. When you say it that way, it sounds stupid. And then you put the Band-Aid of Bill Belichick on it, and all of a sudden people think it's just going to go hunky-dunky.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't how this league works. It's not how it works. It's not how it's ever worked, and it certainly doesn't work that way now.
I've heard the offensive line looks god-awful.
Well, you got Trent Brown playing left tackle because it was such an abject disaster. They just went, we got to put the one we know in the spot to protect Mac Jones.
If the offensive line is that bad, Mac's going to have a hell of a time trying to diagnose defenses and get the ball out of his hands quickly and do all the things that you need to be able to do, obviously, to have success in the passing game in the NFL. And that running game, that crowded running back room that they've been talking about, doesn't mean a hill of beans if it ain't nobody block for them.
Well, and nobody can get separation.
No.
So this is set up to be an absolute disaster.
Even when they've tried to run the ball in camp, all of the plays are getting blown up in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think it's because, like I said yesterday, do you think it's because of the excuse that they're giving that the defense is just that they're just that good, that they're shutting down the offense?
And you know what I love about the people that listen to this here program? If you have DFS, which is something that we coined the phrase last year, delusional fan syndrome, you don't tend to stick around for very long because you get angry.
Right.
Bill Belichick, one of our resident Patriots fans, in the YouTube chat said, me, Armchair, and the rest of the Patriots Nation want to curse Jeremy out so bad, but we can't because it's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my point. And I appreciate you being a non-DFSer, non-delusional fan syndrome member.
New England Patriots coming in at number 26.
To a lesser
That's
extent,
gross.
I look at New England to a lesser extent the same way I look at the Bears. Mac Jones is limited. Justin Fields was raw.
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones is limited, and nobody will tell me I'm wrong on that. But he's so smart. He's Chad Pennington 2.0. I watched this. I saw it with my own two eyes. The difference is Chad had Lavernius Coles and Wayne Crabette and Curtis Martin. You have none of those things. And there was still a cap on how far he could go. And that's exactly what I see in this.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm looking at the defense going, I don't even know how good that is at this point. You have one edge rusher, not one corner that I fully trust. I like Jack Jones, but I don't trust him yet. There's just a lot of ugh. And what I saw last night, I know it's a preseason game. You tell me I'm overrating this all you want to. I've heard it for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of dysfunction. A lot of dysfunction.
And how far are you going to be able to go? Say your defense is as good as, historic Bill Belichick defenses. You could have a top 5 defense in the league, but if you can't move the ball on offense, it obviously doesn't matter that much.
The question with New England is, are you going to outshoot Tua Tagovailoa, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins, Josh Allen twice, Kyler Murray, Derek Carr, Joe Burrow?
No.
Good luck with any game I just said. Those are just the ones that I know definitively you're going to lose. Notice I said 2 of ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you'll split with New England or with Miami.
Good.
The Buffalo Bills are going to embarrass you twice. It sounds weird to hear that number that low. I can't find a way that it's not that low.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Roots and wings, the 2 greatest gifts any parent can give their kid. But when it's time for them to head off to college, there's also groceries, laundry detergent, notebook paper, ironing instructions, and futons that assemble with parts left over. At Ingles, we have all the comforts of home right around the corner. We know that life's biggest steps are best taken with faith and trust in the ones you love the most. Ingles. All the ingredients for family.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Need an appliance? Shop the new appliance truckload event at Lowe's, going on now. From refrigerators and ranges to dishwashers and laundry pairs, we have a large selection of appliances from the brands you trust. Plus, get store-wide savings by shopping other in-stock categories. Go to your local Lowe's store or visit Lowes.com to shop the Appliance Truckload event and find what you need now. While supplies last, valid through 8/17.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I absolutely love my dog, but the constant shedding, not so much. But then I got a Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit, and it is amazing. These super thick cloths pick up a crazy amount of hair. Just look at all that. And that was from just one swipe. And the best part? Sweeper's so much easier to maneuver than a broom or a vacuum, easily getting around chairs and under the couch. You're right. Now I can focus on you, not your shedding. Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit. Because shed happens.
I love shelter dogs, and Rusty's Legacy in Marion is a no-kill shelter that's going through a tough time. The pandemic has caused an unexpected wave of dogs being surrendered and abandoned. Donations to Rusty's Legacy are down by 40%. How can you help? You can adopt or foster a dog, make a cash donation, or become a volunteer. I hope that you will reach out today. Find Rusty's Legacy on Facebook or call 828-460-3190. 828-460-3190.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
Back here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville 2022 Power Rankings in the NFL, the Carolina Panthers just narrowly missed out on being better than the New England Patriots.
And I'm not sure that they're not, but I at least know New England has a quarterback.
Yeah. There was a team that I was kind of shocked that you didn't have New England ahead of them. I'm guessing they're next. Who's 25 on the official Sportsocracy list?
The Detroit Lions.
There it was. That was the one. Look,
where does so? There's 2 reasons that Detroit's ahead of New England. I know that's going to be spicy. It's not. Whose offense is better? It's not even debatable.
Agreed.
I don't know that Detroit's defense is not close. I think it's in the ballpark.
Maybe.
They've drafted really well, and I believe in Dan Campbell, and I can't emphasize this enough. Compare one schedule to the other. It's not even close. They get 2 guaranteed wins against the Bears. And yes, that does play into it.
Yeah, but if you had to take one coach or the other, are you taking Dan Campbell?
I'm going to say something about New England, and I really don't want to fixate on New England too much, but I heard this morning, and it's gotten stuck in my head because it makes sense. And I'm the conspiracy theory guy. So, you know what? Maybe I'm putting my tinfoil hat on my head. I would give credit to whoever said this, but I don't know who it was. That Bill is so dedicated he has such an ego and such hubris that he wants his flowers for everything that happened in New England. That he's so dedicated to winning his way that he's become completely tunnel vision.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I would not take Dan Campbell over Bill Belichick. I will tell you what I would do. I'll take that coaching staff, and it's not close. Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, 2 coordinators that I believe a great deal in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know who the coordinators in New England are. So, yeah, that's a tiebreaker.
Right.
That's a tiebreaker. I know the structure of power. I've watched the Hard Knocks. I'm not saying I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not telling you they're going to the playoffs. But this team has drafted insanely well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're on the right track. And I don't think Jared Goff is that much worse than Mac Jones. I know that sounds insane.
No, that's not insane. I thought about it for a second. I went, that's not insane at all.
When you hear it, you go, the mulleted one is out of his mind.
Well, it's because we've been, crapping on Jared Goff for years. I mean, we even say his name wrong on purpose to make fun of the guy. So obviously when you're going to draw a comparison between quarterbacks and you say somebody's better than or somebody's worse than him, it makes you think, is there anybody worse than him? Yeah, there is.
Absolutely.
Yes, there is. So the Detroit Lions, the more and more we get further into this process, the more and more I start believing the hype that I put on them last year. When they came through the draft and Dan Campbell with the chewing the kneecap stuff and just everything, I thought, there's a chance. There's a chance that this could work. And then they've made good moves since then. That offense is going to be better than anybody
The offense
expected.
is going to be very dynamic, and they're going to be a headache. This is going to remind you of the Matt Stafford years.
Yep.
Are they great? No. Are they fun to play? No, they are not.
No, they are not. Detroit Lions at number 25. We'll continue with the NFL Power Rankings after the Sports Center update here at the top of the hour on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, that cooler, lower humidity is coming on in from the northwest, and doesn't it feel good? Northwest winds and 58 degrees tonight, and all the storms down in South Carolina and Georgia and south of us for a change. Partly cloudy Saturday, high 79, mostly cloudy Sunday, 80, and the thunderstorms return next week, Monday, Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by KFC. KFC's $5 mac and cheese bowls. For a limited time, get a big bowl of creamy mac and cheese topped with crispy chicken and sprinkled with even more melty cheese for just $5. Available in classic or spicy. Order now on the KFC app or KFC.com. That's finger licking good.
Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival, September 23rd and 24th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Tickets are on sale right now. AXS.com.
Stream it free on the CW app and CWTV.com.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival is connecting all of us.
Hyundai is a proud partner of the 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival. When it comes to electric vehicles that go the distance, we're thinking of every mile. Hyundai, it's your journey.
fall into autumn hiring with Indeed. Their all-in-one solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Betting on baseball can be a grind, but VEASAN has a podcast that can help. VEASAN's Baseball Betting Show with host Greg Peterson.
I think it's just so important when taking a look at this run line is taking a look at the home and road splits.
Greg goes through every game on the slate and gives you his betting analysis.
This is a spot in which I did wind up setting my total at 8.3 with the way that Consola has been pretty unhittable. And keep in mind, this is still a night game out there in Los Angeles. Ball not necessarily flying.
Listen to the Baseball Betting Show with Greg Peterson on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The first full weekend of the NFL preseason continues tonight. The Browns expect to have Deshaun Watson at quarterback against the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence didn't play in the Hall of Fame game for Jacksonville last week, but ESPN's Mike DiRocco says he could flourish under new coach Doug Peterson.
He's 180 degrees from Urban Meyer, which is exactly what the franchise needed at this point. Look, we know he won a Super Bowl, but the thing about it, to me, that makes it even more impressive is he won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles.
Mike DiRocco on KJ and Max. Hundreds of retired black NFL players will now share in the $1 billion concussion settlement against the league. The original dementia testing applied race norming that made it more difficult for black players to qualify. Astros outfielder Michael Brantley will miss the rest of the season after surgery on his right shoulder. No word yet on whether Phillies outfielder Kyle Schwarber will play tonight against the first-place Mets. He left Thursday's game against the Marlins with a mild right calf strain.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
One thing for sure that I do know is Saquon Barkley will have a job, whether it's with the Giants or another team after this season. I can't say that about Daniel Jones.
Get more from the guys Monday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend is upon us. We only have a couple more hours of the program here today. 6 o'clock tonight is the first kickoff of a quintuple header. We got 5 games in the preseason tonight.
I'll be watching them on the Quad Box.
That's right.
Message us to find out how.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, when you go to find preseason games, you're like, but I can't find them.
Yeah. When you're sitting there tonight going, why can't I get the New York Jets and the Philadelphia Eagles? Because the only thing the NFL Network has on right now is the end of the Atlanta-Detroit game that nobody cares about. I would say this is something that the NFL needs to look into. Would we not enjoy a preseason version of Red Zone?
Oh,
would you not enjoy that? Would you not enjoy
I'm doing
Chris
it myself
Hansen?
In my own house.
Not Chris Hansen, Scott Hansen.
Yeah, Chris Hansen. That's a whole different show.
Right. So would you not enjoy, though, Scott Hansen every night that there are multiple preseason games, sitting down and skipping back and forth to the best parts of it?
That makes me want to do it in a very vulgar way.
Anything you do, you want to do vulgarly. It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. You could, of course, get with us on YouTube. Watch us live every weekday afternoon from 3 to 6 here. And, special occasions we go on as well. We're going to have fantasy football shows throughout the year.
We've got one of those, a Mullet Man in Canada, coming out over the weekend.
Nice.
That'll be out tomorrow.
Nice. We will have our usual Sunday morning show where we get you ready for the fantasy football day. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. It always is. And don't forget, while you're at the YouTube channel, subscribe so you can always get the alert when we go live. And That'll get you into the chat. You can join the House of Reprehensibles. You can get in on the Patreon fantasy football leagues. Just go to the patreon.com/thesportsocracy, and you will see you can get your access to Mullet's money-making fantasy draft kit that will help you dominate all of your leagues this year. And there are also tie-ins. There are different tiers that you can purchase with the fantasy draft kit that will get you into the leagues that we're going to run this year.
It's next week. We are going to be the two most overexposed human beings in the history of sports radio.
Thank God I lost all that weight. I hate being exposed when I'm fat.
Frankly, I don't want to see you exposed in any way. That haunts my nightmares just thinking about it.
I've been spending some time at the pool. I'm not as white as I usually am.
That's not the problem.
That's not the problem.
That's not the problem.
Okay. All right. I feel like when you have these games on, they're only worth watching for a little bit. My opinion.
It's great sleep fuel. At least that's what it did to me last night.
Indeed. Because I watched much of the first quarter of the Ravens and Titans game, and then I went, okay, I'm good. I've had my football fix for the evening. It's now time to settle in and, count sheep. Or whatever you count. You don't have to count sheep. You can count whatever you want to when you're trying to fall asleep.
Parlays. Creed bangers.
Counting Creed bangers. 1.
17.
Done.
Minimum. Don't stop dancing. Absolute banger.
I have no idea what that is.
It's an underrated Creed banger.
Good. Speaking of bangers, Jeremy's going to have the picks of the night in the preseason coming up at the end of the program. It's going to be a full-on preview of the madhouse that is Jeremy on Fridays.
If you've never seen what college football picks look like, I looked at the combination of games and I went, we could have. You need a preseason. For me to get that animated about college picks, I need a preseason. Best place to do it, NFL preseason.
Okay.
Can't wait.
And today, we're unveiling our preseason Sportsocracy NFL Power Rankings for the 2022 season. So far, we have done from 32 to 25.
We'll be doing the next 12 in this hour and then the top 12 in the third hour of the program.
Indeed. So we've got the last team at 25 was the Detroit Lions. And then going back from there, the New England Patriots, Carolina Panthers, New York Giants, Houston Texans, and the bottom three of the Atlanta Falcons, Seattle Seahawks, and the Chicago Bears at number 32. So bringing us to number 24 in the power rankings.
The Washington Commanders.
Oh.
This is one that I feel like could make me look bad.
Make you look bad. Okay, so would it make you look bad because you've got them too low and they finish much higher? Would it be worse than what happened last year when we all lost our minds about
on the
Washington?
Cincinnati Bengals.
No, I'm talking about Washington. Last year, there were members of our broadcast crew that had them in the Super Bowl last year because that defense is just going to be so great.
Well, the defense has not lived up to the expectations.
No.
I think it's going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
There are still issues. The question is Carson Wentz the great elixir or not?
No.
You say that?
I do because
he's better than he's given credit for.
I agree. Is he better than anything they've had in the past 5 years at quarterback?
Yes.
No.
Drastically.
Yes. But I can't see Carson Wentz as the magic elixir for anything. Is this team just a bare bones competent quarterback away from being a contender? In their division? Maybe.
And the other thing about Washington is you got to look at the schedule. I mean, yikes. They play virtually every horror-awful team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
2 games with the Giants, the Falcons, the Texans, the Bears, the Lions, the Jaguars. Every team I just said is in the bottom 11. That's 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
This team's record could be better than we think.
It should be your floor.
And now I'm going to say this, and I'm going to throw it out there. And if you like it, you can take it. And if you don't, you can throw it back.
Throw it right back.
I still believe Sam Howell's the future of this team.
I agree. I believe he's the future, but I do not believe that he sees the field this year.
I'm going to add two things onto what you just said. First one is to the end of what I just said, and I ain't the only one. The second thing is it depends on how the season goes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you start losing to the Bears and these mediocre teams, then I see a path that he sees the field. They know what Taylor Heineke is. He's a backup on a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
There is more hype around Sam Howell in scouting circles, people that have physically seen him in camp. There are more of them going, you might not be wrong on this kid, because I was probably the loudest banger of that drum in all of media. Now, we're an affiliate of Carolina, so I saw him up close and very personal. I ain't backing off this.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he is that guy. But Washington is the one team I look at and go, the talent scares me. I want the defense to be better than I actually think it is. I want it to be what I thought it was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that that's going to happen, but the record is probably going to be better than this.
Yeah, the defense has got to start living up to expectations, and I think with a healthy year, you may very well see that. We've seen it in glimpses, but we haven't really seen what Chase Young is capable of at the NFL level.
They're the only team in the NFL to me that has a 5-game swing in what the record could be. They could be 5-12, they could be 10-7. It wouldn't shock me in the least.
Mm-hmm.
In any way. Now, if you fall out of that window, I'm going to be surprised. I can't say that about any other team in the NFL.
We can't talk about the Washington Commanders without talking about my little boyfriend, Antonio Gibson. People throw him shade all the time.
I'm going to throw you a fun little nugget from Mullet Man and Canada, which will come out talking about fantasy football running backs tomorrow.
Okay.
Top 5 in running back touches in the year of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Najee Harris, Jonathan Taylor, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara. Those are 4 of the top 5.
Those make sense.
You know who 5 was?
Who's that?
It's actually 4, but he's the 5th one on this list. Antonio Gibson.
Really? But wait, J.D. McKissick takes all his work.
Doing the draft kit, I don't think any statistic blew my mind more than that. I knew he was up on the list. I did not know he was that high.
Mm-hmm. You're hearing good things about Curtis Samuel and his recovery from his injury. He's having a great camp.
I like the weapons.
Yeah.
I want to see the defense improve.
Yep. Carson Wentz, though, is he the answer? Who knows? Number 23.
The Arizona Cardinals.
This seems like so low for a team that you have been high on for the last couple of years.
And I'm Seacrest out.
Oh, I fully understand. We've heard you go on and on about the Arizona Cardinals and how they have just missed their chance, and now Cliff Kingsbury's an idiot again. He was 8-0 last year, and you were like, oh, maybe I was wrong. And then the end of the season happened, and the end of the season, the season has ended the same way every year for Cliff Kingsbury. They look really competitive, possible playoff team or are a playoff team, but don't do anything with it. I think their winning percentage in the last 5 weeks of the season since Cliff Kingsbury has been the coach there is like 200. They're like batting at the Mendoza line. There's a baseball reference for you on Power Rankings Friday.
I already told you what would happen if you mentioned baseball.
In trying to get a win late in the season. Something happens every year that they just fall apart.
Yeah. I'm going to say this as clearly as I can. The Arizona Cardinals are a trailer park full of Bentleys and Mercedes. But we have DeAndre Hopkins and Rondale Moore. I don't have a qualm with the Kyler Murrays and all of those things. It's the foundation of the house that I have a problem with. Your secondary, horrid. Your offensive line, not particularly good.
Mm-hmm.
You're not deep. You've missed on a ton of draft picks. This is where it goes sideways. This is where it is unveiled why Cliff Kingsbury should never have been a head coach in this league. And I like the guy a lot.
Yep.
I just don't like him as an NFL head coach. I think he'll go into college after he gets fired here and do unbelievable things. But this is going to go sideways.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN. Asheville, Arizona has fallen from, I think we had them in the top 12 to start the year last year.
They were in the top 10 for me.
My, what a year can do.
When you burn me, you have burned me forever.
And you mix in some off-season drama along with a late-season collapse, and you get the 23rd best team preseason in the NFL.
When we come back, I'm going to give you two teams that have been stalwarts of the bottom five that have a lot of hope.
This is your time-saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow 40 westbound between the 26-240 split Malfunction Junction and Smoky Park Highway. 40 westbound crawling between Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. An accident near Wiggins Road does have the shoulder closed. 40 westbound then stop and go between George's Branch Road and Newfound Road. 240 westbound slow between Charlotte Street and Monfort Avenue. 26 westbound is slow approaching Airport Road to the French Broad River. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road delays. And near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Bavard Road northbound slow between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. Charging a cell phone can be like getting a booster shot. A booster is given to enhance or restore protection after a primary series vaccination, which wanes over time. Schedule an appointment when you are eligible. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This should be 8x7.
When it comes to closets, Janina's home organization business runs tip-top tidy.
Is this schedule right? I'm gonna need help.
But she needs to reorganize and find a new assistant.
I know, it's your last week, but can you make sure the Hanson pantry's wrapped?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
It's ESPN Asheville. I'm Tank Spencer. Flostradamus Jeremy Greene just trying to hold it all together until he gets to go crazy making picks for tonight's
I'm going to go
preseason
Nanners
games.
on the preseason. These are my 6 to 8 reps.
That's coming up at the end of the program. In case you were wondering, there will not be a daily draft today. We are rocking and rolling through the 2022 preseason Sportsocracy NFL Power Rankings on this here program. And we got 2 teams, as Jeremy said before the break, that have lived in that just poo emoji tier of the NFL for the last several years. Now there's hope.
And these were the 2 hardest teams in the entire 32-team power ranking for me to differentiate.
Why?
Because they're so unbelievably close that I had to nitpick.
Mm-hmm.
One of them has a Super Bowl winning head coach and the best quarterback prospect I've ever seen. So I hate to use a baseball reference, but tie goes to the runner.
Mm-hmm.
And so I gave that team the higher spot. And at number 22, I slotted in my Jets, Jets.
The New York Jets obviously have a lot of hope for the upcoming year. There are reports coming out of camp that Sauce Gardner is better than Darrelle Revis.
He has been everything you thought he would be and more. And that changes things. Let me explain to you why. If you look at the schedule, that schedule looked super daunting when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at it. All right, you get the Ravens week 1. Ravens are really good.
Loss, yeah.
It's a lot of moving pieces. Well, it's in New York. I'm telling you right now, that game's going to be closer than you think.
Okay.
Not telling you they're going to win it. Just saying it's going to be closer than you think. At the Browns week 2. Okay, I get what has been said to me, better than Darrelle Revis as a rookie on the one receiver you have, and you have Jacoby Brissett.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't look so daunting to me now.
No.
Then you get the Bengals. That's still daunting. But, hey, at least we got that guy on Jamar Chase, so maybe we won't lose by 30. And they're a little perturbed about how last year went. Then you go Steelers, Dolphins, Packers, Broncos, Patriots. It's not quite as daunting as it looked 3 months ago.
No. I mean, it all comes down to Rob Salah and the offense and can you take all of the pieces that look good on paper and turn it into a competitive ball club?
And I'm going to say the same thing about the Jets that I've said about the Lions and that I will say about the next team on the list. I can't tell you that the record's going to be beautiful. I can tell you if you watch these teams year over year and compare them, this is going to look like a different football team.
Mm-hmm. You got all the weapons for Zach Wilson to make a leap in his second year. He looks good.
Jets fans are notoriously negative. Jets media is notoriously negative. This is the most hyped I have heard them in the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And in the 5 that I've been doing this, where I'm super connected to them. Kevin, the PRF, in our YouTube comment said, didn't the Jets just lose their starting offensive tackle? They did. They did, but they replaced him with a 7-time Pro Bowler.
That's right. Dwayne Brown has now been picked up by the New York Jets. So the Mekhi Becton injury hurt, but then they went, that guy was in practice this weekend. Or he wasn't in practice. He was visiting with the team over the weekend.
And I'm going to say this. This was the one positive for the Jets compared to the next team. Joe Douglas learned right at the hand of Howie Roseman, Eric DaCosta, and Ozzie Newsome. And it shows. Oh, we have a problem? Go fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Linebacker's not good? Go get Quan Alexander. That's a defensive leader. Him and C.J. Mosley on a young defense. I like having those 2 in the room. Offensive line. Our former number 1 pick goes down. Go get a 37-year-old 5-time Pro Bowler in.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
New York Jets, and they, of course, the other team, if you didn't figure it out, is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Trevor Lawrence has Travis Etienne back by his side in the backfield. He's got weapons to throw to. Christian Kirk is getting all kinds of hype right now. This team could be dangerous. This is the team that, remember, last year pulled off wins against the Colts and the Bills.
You know what this reminds me of? It's not an apples-to-apples comparison, but this reminds me of the Kansas City Chiefs before they became the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
Not in the first year of Pat Mahomes. This reminds me of the Alex Smith team that was good but not great, and you started seeing the pieces. Like, there are pieces here of this team's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take a minute, but they're going to be good. And that's how I see Jacksonville. They're going to be an absolute headache. I love Trevor Lawrence. The more time has gone on, this is a team I am drinking the Kool-Aid on. Having Urban Meyer out that door and having a big boy in the room, which Doug Peterson is a game changer for them.
Mm-hmm.
And do I think they have 22 spots on this in this starting lineup filled? Nope.
No.
But they're markedly closer than they were. Give it another year, they'll be markedly closer than they are right now.
Mm-hmm. Protecting Trevor Lawrence is going to be key. Do you feel like the offensive line is capable of holding it together?
I do. They still need pieces, but I always liked Walker Little. Brandon Sheriff, if he can stay healthy, is obviously going to be a positive. And I think it's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Am I telling you it's in the top 10 of the league? No. But it's good enough.
But it's good enough.
And I think this team is going to take a huge step forward this year.
I think they could. I really like their head coach. Will say that. I've been a Doug Peterson fan for a while.
So I just said all the positive things about two teams that have been in the bottom five for quite some time.
Yes.
The next team is not used to having a 2 next to their ranking.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's been much lower than this for quite some time. And I am Seacrest out on the Dallas Cowboys.
At 20?
At 20.
That seems a tad low.
At 20.
You're not sold on this team at any level? Is that what I'm hearing?
Not sold at all. Not sold at all.
The offensive line is worse than it was. Lost a lot in the offseason. Leal Collins gone, Connor Williams gone, lost some pieces there. The wide receivers, Amari Cooper's out, gone. There are hurt players all over the place. Michael Gallup's not going to be back till mid-season. James Washington's gone.
This is Justin Fields on steroids. This is a very highly paid Justin Fields. I don't think anybody with an IQ above salad dressing thinks Dak Prescott's a top 5 quarterback in this league.
No.
He's a top 12 to 15 talent. What do you have to do with talents like that?
Surround him with talent.
And this is the worst team he's ever had around him, and it's not even kind of close. So you think he's going to progress with less around him. That makes no sense to me. Oh, but the defense is so good. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not so much better. They're horribly overrated because they have a great young pass rusher, and the rest of it is a bunch of question marks.
Mm-hmm.
Trayvon Diggs is like toast you left in the oven for 3 weeks, the majority of the time. But there's so many interceptions. You see, he used to be a receiver, and it shows. This team is not good, and their owner is loud, and their coach his seat is so hot that he can't even actually sit upon it. That's a recipe for a big old train wreck. And that's what I see happening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to level. I have Dallas here because I couldn't physically have them any lower. If I had to put my U.S. doll hairs on it right now of how this division finished, I'll go Philadelphia Eagles 1, Washington Commanders 2, Dallas Cowboys 3, New York Giants 4, and I think the Cowboys are closer to the Giants.
Oh, my gosh.
I do. Because I see a path that Washington's better than I think they are.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas, I don't. I do not see how you're going to pull this off. Because this is like every bad offseason storyline conspiring in one place. If I told you that you had a diminished supporting cast that's already hurt, with a quarterback that's now paid, and you started losing pieces, plus you have a coach that nobody in your front office, nobody in your media, nobody in your fan base believes in. Meanwhile, you have a coordinator that everybody thinks is the Bill Belichick of the 90s. They have all the same things in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be bad if you had one of them.
Right.
They have them all. There's no team that I am lower on compared to the masses than the Dallas Cowboys.
I just don't believe that the drama is going to be so bad there that they are completely inept.
Well, it's funny you said that because after the break, we're going to get weird. And then we'll go team by team, and you tell me who they're supposed to be in front of.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, that cooler, lower humidity is coming on in from the northwest, and doesn't it feel good? Northwest winds and 58 degrees tonight, and all the storms down in South Carolina and Georgia and south of us for a change. Partly cloudy Saturday, high 79, mostly cloudy Sunday, 80, and the thunderstorms return next week, Monday, Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 26 westbound between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound delays between the 26-240 split Malfunction Junction and George's Branch Road. On Sardis Road, moving towards Brevard Road, an accident reported westbound. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road, northbound, approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Brevard Road, northbound, slow between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Sweeten Creek Road, northbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Napa Auto Parts. When your ride fires on all cylinders, so do you. That's why Napa is on a mission to keep you in motion. With nearly 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores and over 17,000 Napa Auto Care centers, the Napa network has everything you need to get up and go.
This week at Macy's, get an extra 20% off with your coupon or Macy's card. That's on top of already great deals, like jeans for him from Laser and More, $34.99. And kids' jeans for back to school, $24.99 to $45. Plus, get 10 to 50% off now during our big home sale. And Macy's Star Rewards members earn on every purchase, except gift cards, services, and fees. Sign up today at Macys.com/Star Rewards. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year. Help police by not escalating. Address any complaints after the encounter. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. Learn more at nationalpolice.org.
The biannual blowout is just a week away, and we've got a lot of work to do.
Keenan's Rug Emporium is rolling out a Labor Day bonanza.
Have that flat weave shipment coming in.
He needs 10 new sales associates as the crowds loom large.
Someone run a stock check on all the Moroccan 8x10s?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Roots and wings. The two greatest gifts any parent can give their kid. But when it's time for them to head off to college, there's also groceries, laundry detergent, notebook paper, ironing instructions, and futons that assemble with parts left over. At Ingles, we have all the comforts of home right around the corner. We know that life's biggest steps are best taken with faith and trust in the ones you love the most. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
You know, we say every day in the 5 o'clock hour, the most important thing you'll hear today is don't do crimes. This is a crimes-related story, but I'm also going to add to that another important thing that I believe everybody should learn, or at least be reminded of each and every day. Don't be inconsiderate of your fellow man. Jeremy, I know that you have friends
In low
who
places,
have
yes, I
had
do.
these souped-up cars with the speaker systems, the sound systems that drive people crazy.
I do.
I remember when I was in high school, there was a guy named Clint who had the best quote-unquote sound system of anybody in town. He would drive by the house after school every day, and it would rattle the windows of the houses that he passed. And it was cool when I was a kid. Of course, now that I'm old and crotchety, stop that.
Abe Simpson.
I don't need to hear your music. I don't care what music you're listening to. And I don't understand how you're still, able to hear anything after being in a car that blasts music that loud. Well, there is one guy who has taken that to a completely different level. In Wilmington, Massachusetts, a guy driving a bright yellow car pulled into a Wilmington parking lot after 1 a.m. with half a dozen actual speakers attached to the top of his car. Like, this is, if you've ever been to a big old rock show and you've seen those giant speakers on stage with the guitarists and stuff, these are the kinds of speakers that this guy had bolted to the top of his bright yellow sports car, thinking he's all cool. He was blasting the music so loud that noise complaints came in from 3 different towns. So Wilmington and 2 of the suburbs of Wilmington, police got calls about the noise complaint. That's how loud this guy's music was.
Here's my question. Was he playing that god-awful, annoying Running Up That Hill song?
Running Up That
It's
Hill.
that Kate Bush Stranger Things song.
Oh,
I just heard that for the first time. That is a rampage on my ear holes.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
asked Ariel Robinson, how in the world do you listen to that multiple times a day?
I have no idea who Kate Bush is.
It's some song from the 80s. It sounds genuinely like 2 people banging trash can lids together
Right.
and calling it music.
I don't know if he was playing Kate Bush or what. I have no idea. But at 1:30 on a Monday morning, that's an ass whipping.
Sounds like my kind of guy. Sounds like somebody partying on a Monday morning. Let's go.
Right. Police had to show up, and, of course, a 22-year-old New Hampshire man in a sun yellow vehicle with 6 full-size speakers affixed to the roof of the car. It's not the first time this has happened either. Apparently, there's a group of these jackwagons that are doing this. I mean, pain. Lots of pain is the only answer for this. You have that little respect for the people around you. Karma's a mean mug.
Sounds like somebody that would partake in a Jeremy Greene big beer breakfast.
Probably so.
I don't know how this keeps happening, but this is the second story like this I've had within the last 4 months. Emergency responders in Australia came to the rescue of a man who had become trapped on the roof of a public bathroom.
On the roof?
He was on the roof. That's not the weird part. The weird part is that his German Shepherd was up there with him. So as they saved him, they asked, "Hey, buddy, how'd you get up here?" He said, "Somehow my dog got up here. And so I had to Spider-Man it up here, and then I couldn't get back down." This same exact thing happened in April in New Jersey.
Where
on the owner of a home.
A dog just mysteriously got on the roof?
Somehow the dog got on the roof. The owner goes to save it, and now they're stranded. Dogs. Look, I know dogs can't understand me. Stop climbing onto buildings. I also want to know, how did you think you were going to get the dog down? You can't just throw Peaches off the roof of a public bathroom.
You can't lower him by his collar? Is that not allowed?
Nope. That sounded like crimes. I mean, you can't just get up there and go, "Off you go."
Right.
Sparky.
Oh, I tried to throw him in the bush over there. I missed and hit the concrete.
I mean, it's more confusing to me. How did they get up there? My other question would be, how did you think you were going to get down?
Fireman's
Maybe
carry?
go
I
get a
don't know.
ladder. There's a thought.
You didn't have a ladder handy.
Well,
where are you going to find one?
Well, go get one. I don't think Spot's going anywhere.
Was there a maintenance shed somewhere near the public restroom that you could have, I don't know, broke it into at least? I mean, that would be crimes as well, so don't do that.
Chris McCann in our YouTube comment said, speaking of Stranger Things, there's an epidemic of flying dogs in this country. I don't even know what that means because I refuse to watch that show. You would have to literally strap me to a chair and pry my eyes open for me to watch 5 seconds of that show. But it's so I don't care. I don't care. It's aliens and sci-fi, and I'm Seacrest out.
Jeremy doesn't like scary things.
Scary, I don't mind. I like scary movies.
Alien things.
I don't like alien things. If your series is based on aliens, vampires, unicorns, all non-fictional things, I'm out. Politicians, all things I don't believe in.
So nobody ever make a series about the New York Jets winning playoff games.
We've won more than you have in franchise history. So there's that.
Is that true?
That is true.
Okay.
That is true. And if you take Tom Brady out, it's not even close.
How many Super Bowls you got?
One less than you do.
Yeah, exactly.
And you had to cheat to get the second one.
One less. Cheat?
Yeah, you had to bring in the one that has a deal with Satan himself.
I see what you're saying. Jeez. NFL Power Rankings Day here in the Sportsocracy. Preseason action tonight. We got 5 games on the NFL schedule, including Jeremy's Jets. Let's continue with the power rankings, though.
The next team is a team that you won't be able to see this evening. You'll have to wait till tomorrow when they play the Seattle Seahawks. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
At number 19.
I think Trubisky will be better than other people do. I think he was cursed with the affliction that is Matt Nagy. The defense is, I think, going to be very good, even without Joe Hayden, if they're not planning on bringing him back, which we're officially getting to the point of, all right, that ship will have sailed.
Yeah.
I don't care. And so I'll ask you the question that I told you I was going to ask you. Can you have the Dallas Cowboys ahead of the Pittsburgh Steelers? A team that has not had a losing season in 17 years.
I mean, I like their quarterback better, but
and then
you take the rest of the team and go, I got the better running back, I got the better wide receivers, I got the better defense by 1.5 miles.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess not.
And maybe it's a little bit of I just trust Pittsburgh. They've been good forever.
As you should.
I can't have Dallas in front of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Pittsburgh this is going to be one of those gross years where poor Najee Harris. He may break 400 touches this year, and it wouldn't shock me at all.
You don't think they're going to air it out with Trubisky enough?
Good Lord, no.
Really?
No.
Okay.
This offense is going to look much more like Bill Cowher offense than anything you ever saw out of Ben. Ben threw 600 passes last year.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that coming down by over 100 this year. They're going to lean on the run game. They're going to lean on the defense.
Right.
And that's 2 things I believe in.
It's always with
this team.
Yeah. It's always a concern for me when you just absolutely run the wheels off of your running backs. But, I mean, look back at Pittsburgh Steeler history under Mike Tomlin. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Every running back they've ever had, they got the absolute most out of. I mean, going back to Rashard Mendenhall. First couple of years were excellent. He got like 99% of the touches. And dead. Le'Veon Bell, same thing. What happened to him once he left Pittsburgh? Exactly.
Wah, wah.
Exactly.
Yeah, Najee Harris had more touches last year than any running back not named Christian McCaffrey or Derrick Henry has had in the last 5 years.
That's insane.
And the last running back that was not named Derrick Henry or Christian McCaffrey to do that, Le'Veon Bell.
There you go.
I think it's going to look very similar.
Yeah. All right. The Pittsburgh Steelers coming in at number 19. 18th.
the Miami Dolphins.
I want it to be better than this.
You think that's low? You want to say that's low?
I want to say that's low. I want them to be better than this. But there are a lot of question marks, and it all starts at the quarterback position with Tua Tagovailoa.
NFL.com just did their power rankings. They had Miami a spot lower than I do.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I can't really disagree. I thought about putting Pittsburgh ahead of them. It's just the mixture of the division and the schedule, and I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Miami's that much better. I've said this before of this myth that they had a great defensive reckoning. No, you played dog water teams for the second half of the year, and you beat up on bad offenses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this defense nearly as much as everybody else does. I think this turns into a lot of shootouts, and now you have the ammo to do that. I think you're going to run the ball markedly better. You've got two of the best deep threats in the NFL. The problem is I don't trust your quarterback at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Mike Tannenbaum, say that they should make a move on Jimmy Garoppolo. And the more I thought about it, the more I went, that's not a terrible idea. That is not a terrible idea. I know it sounds stupid when you say it, but I know what Jimmy is.
It doesn't necessarily sound stupid. It's just, it does if you're going to spend a boatload of money on it. If you're going to spend,
his theory was that Jimmy Garoppolo is the best you will personally do at quarterback for the next 4 years because you sign him and extend him.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounded really stupid when I heard it. And the more I thought about it, I went, that's not as stupid as it sounds.
But I don't know if it's time. I don't know if it's time to pull the plug on
Well,
Tua.
that's tapping out early.
Right. You gotta let Tua prove himself. And
you don't have to do anything.
This is the year.
You don't have to do anything. The Arizona Cardinals proved this. When you know that you don't have the guy, and I think they know that.
Mm-hmm.
If you got them into a room and hypnotized them the same way Klay Thompson got at Dodger Stadium the other night, I think they'd go, Tua's not the guy.
Right. Okay. I still have faith that he can be that at some point. You just have to see him take the step, and I think having Tyreek Hill is gonna help that out.
I trust sashimi more than I trust Tyreek Hill.
Why?
And after food poisoning Palooza 2022, that's not much.
Right. I don't know. You always just talk about Tyreek Hill like the only thing he can do is run deep. And that's
not I think
true.
Pat Mahomes made him look better than he is. I think that offense made him – and I'm not trying to shade the guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you see people treat him like he's Devontae Adams going to the Raiders. That's not who he is. It's not who he's ever been, ever, not for 1 second. And now you're going to take Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes away from him, and you think he's more impactful in Miami than he was in Kansas City? That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And so, okay, cool. You got the nice, shiny toy. I will say the exact same thing I said earlier. You got Bentleys parked in front of trailers because I think the foundation of this team is not all that good. I don't think the defense is that good, and I never have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look at any pass rusher on this team that really scares me. I look at the offensive line and go, you're counting on Teron Armstead. If he gets hurt, then what? You're in the exact same boat you were last year. Then all of a sudden, you're the exact same team you were with a nice new shiny toy out on the outside. Okay.
But you can't block.
Right. And I don't see this team as improved as everybody else does.
Okay. They made some big key offseason additions, obviously with Tyreek Hill and Teron Armstead. Connor Williams coming over gives them a little bit more on that offensive line. And they loaded the running back room because Mike McDaniel is going to want to run the football. And I think that also helps out Tua because now he has a running game that you can actually lean on. You couldn't do that with Myles Gaskin and Patrick Laird and whoever the hell else they were trying to throw out there last year.
I think they'll be able to run the ball fine. I just think you're in the wild, wild west in the AFC, and you're going to have to win shootouts, and everybody else has guns, and you have a water pistol.
Coming up next here in the Sportsocracy, who's number 17 in the 2022 NFL Power Rankings?
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing, 240 westbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. An accident reported. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound stop and go between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. 40 westbound is stop and go between Brevard Road and George's Branch Road. A disabled vehicle at mile marker 41 in this stretch does have the left lane closed. In Inca Village, Sardis Road, moving from Sand Hill Road to Brevard Road, traffic is stop and go. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road, delays. Again, Brevard Road northbound slow between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Napa Auto Parts. When your ride fires on all cylinders, so do you. That's why Napa is on a mission to keep you in motion. With nearly 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores and over 17,000 Napa Auto Care centers, the Napa network has everything you need to get up and go.
Bill was tired of saying no to his kids because of his debilitating pain.
I have 3 kids that are 13 and under. Every day they're asking, Dad, can we take a bike ride? Dad, can we play ping pong? Unfortunately, in the past, I had to sadly say no quite often.
An accident left Bill with aching knees and shoulders. Even after 4 knee surgeries, Bill still felt constant pain in his knees. And then he discovered QC Kinetics and their natural biologic therapies.
I did it on the knee. It really became life-changing. I've had the same results with the shoulder.
QC Kinetics non-invasive regenerative treatments help restore damaged tissue and provided much-needed relief for knees, hips, shoulders, and backs. Right there in the office, no downtime. Bill's able to do just about anything these days.
Like taking my kids to Disney World and walking 10 miles a day at Disney, bike riding, taking a walk on the beach.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
NFL Power Rankings Friday. Here, the official preseason list from the Sportsocracy. We've worked our way up to number 17 in the league. We're reaching that middle, meaty clacker portion of the NFL.
The Cleveland Browns.
At 17?
I believe Deshaun Watson is going to settle with the league at 8 games and a $5 million fine.
That is the latest report from the Associated Press earlier today, that now Deshaun and the league are talking about a compromise.
Here's my question. Why could you have not done this, I don't know, 3 months ago?
Absolutely.
Now, here's the thing that would worry me about that. Their bye week's in week 9, so this actually situates perfectly because you would have an extra week to get him acclimated and do all the things.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem with that. In the 8 weeks before that, you play the Jets, you play the Steelers, you play the Chargers, the Patriots, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Cincinnati Bengals. Those are all losable games depending on how good Jacoby Brissett is.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get to 4-4, back half of that schedule, it's still not pretty, but there are more winnable games. And you could get to 10 or 11 wins depending on how the first 8 go. So they're one of the hardest teams to nail down in all of the NFL to me. So I'm not going to say I cheated. I just put them in the spot where there are 2 teams in this league I don't really know what to do with. It's the team at 17 and the team at 16.
I am a much bigger believer in the Cleveland defense, I think, than you are. I feel like they have.
Well, I got news for you. If you can't move the ball, there are 5 teams in that initial 8 games that you will lose to.
Oh, I believe they'll be able to move the ball. I don't have much faith in that.
You undervalue Jacoby Brissett. You undervalue how big of a drop-off this actually is.
Mm-hmm.
This is Baker all over again. Without the ability to beat you deep, without the weapons that you really trust, but they run well. Okay, who scares you enough over the top to not stack 7 guys in the box and go, try it now?
It's not DPJ.
That's one thing that I will say. I have banged on Baker Mayfield forever. He could at least scare you deep. And when he had Odell Beckham Jr., they didn't hook up much, but they did it enough to scare you over the top. Amari Cooper's not doing that for you. And so I had to put them in the spot where I go, I could see them as high as 10. I could see them as low as 22.
Mm-hmm.
Just depends on how those first 8 games go.
All right, Cleveland Browns. And then at 16?
The Minnesota Vikings.
Again, this is another one that feels low to me.
It's certainly not low.
They are talking massive year this year for Kirk Cousins under Kevin McConnell.
Kevin O'Connell.
Excuse me, not McConnell.
Who is Kevin McConnell?
Wasn't
that the character in Home Alone? Kevin McAllister. I was close.
McAllister. Yeah, there you go.
I really like this offense, and the thing that scares me is the defense. There are a lot of young guys playing on that defense.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of transition here where you have guys playing in positions that I've either never seen or I've seen them do it poorly. So I physically cannot have them any higher than this. But I do think that offense is going to be really tough to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And the addition of, just think about how good the offense was under Mike Zimmer.
Yeah.
The definition of average, minus his dating record.
Right.
Which is far above average.
And I also think about how good the offense was, how dynamic the offense was with, I don't know if subpar is the right way, but not as good as we wanted it to be offensive line play.
And I think the line's fine. It's good. It's young.
Mm-hmm. I think it's developing. It'll take a step forward, and that should make the weapons even better. They'll be able to win a lot of shootout games.
And I would agree with that. Justin Jefferson is going to be absolutely unstoppable.
At 15,
the Tennessee Titans.
Again, seems low. You don't believe in the defense. That's the number one thing.
It's not even that. It's not an I don't believe in them. I'm going to say the same thing about the Titans that I did about the Cowboys. Where exactly am I supposed to put them? As I go through the top 14, you tell me the team that the Tennessee Titans are supposed to be in front of. You never did it with Dallas because there wasn't one.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a feeling you're going to think the same thing with Tennessee. We'll talk more about them in the next hour. It's not that I'm slighting them. It's just this is where you are. I think you're very safe, but maybe not the high upside.
All right, top half of the league coming up in the next hour. Sports Center coming up.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, that cooler, lower humidity is coming on in from the northwest, and doesn't it feel good? Northwest winds and 58 degrees tonight, and all the storms down in South Carolina and Georgia and south of us for a change. Partly cloudy Saturday, high 79, mostly cloudy Sunday, 80, and the thunderstorms return next week, Monday, Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing, 240 westbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. An accident reported. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound stop and go between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. 40 westbound is stop and go between Brevard Road and George's Branch Road. A disabled vehicle at mile marker 41 in this stretch does have the left lane closed. In Inca Village, Sardis Road, moving from Sand Hill Road to Brevard Road, traffic is stop and go. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road, delays. Again, Brevard Road northbound slow between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. The new Staples Connect app has exclusive app-only savings. Now, download the Staples Connect app today and get $10 off your next in-store purchase of $50 or more. Find your happy place with the Staples Connect app. In-store only. Offer ends 12/31. See app for full offer details. Staples, the working and learning store. Try Taco Bell's new cheesy double beef burritos now. A melty 3-cheese blend with nacho cheese sauce and double the seasoned beef in classic and spicy. At participating stores for a limited time while supplies last. Prices vary. Tax extra. Double the seasoned beef as compared to beefy milk burrito.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The Cleveland Browns open their preseason schedule tonight in Jacksonville against the Jaguars. Quarterback Deshaun Watson is expected to start for Cleveland as the wait continues on the NFL appeal of his 6-game suspension. The Giants beat the Patriots Thursday night, and plenty of focus on the New England offense with no coordinator in place. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler.
There are different iterations of this Bill Belichick system over like 2 decades. So short term going to be a bit of an issue. Long term, they think it's going to actually be an easier offense to work with. But the thing is, when you talk to people league-wide, they're kind of like, good luck, Mac Jones. Like, this is maybe not the best for a second-year quarterback.
Jeremy Fowler on Get Up. Jones didn't play in the game last night. Texans quarterback Kyle Allen will miss the preseason opener tomorrow night against the Saints after testing positive for COVID-19. Allen is battling with Jeff Driscoll for the backup spot behind Davis Mills. The NIT semis and finals are moving out of Madison Square Garden, at least for the next 2 years. The 2023 tournament will wrap up in Vegas, the 2024 event in Indianapolis.
Long summer days call for extra hands. Hire fast with Indeed. Their hiring solution helps attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
If you haven't taken problems off the bat,
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here in the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Third hour of the program. Doing things a little bit differently today. No daily draft to kick off the third hour as we are in the middle of our 2022 NFL preseason Sportsocracy Power Rankings. And then at the end of the hour, Jeremy's going to go crazy picking the games for tonight's NFL preseason action. You say it may be a little, useless to gamble on preseason games, but
2 winners last night. I'm just saying.
There are still chances to make money, and that's what the mullet is all about. So he'll be picking games coming up at the end of the hour. We got Don't Do Crimes on the way at the bottom of the hour as well, and the rest of the NFL Power Rankings. We've been through the bottom half of the league. Now, the top half. It kind of took me aback right before the top of the hour when Jeremy said the 15th best team in the NFL is the Tennessee Titans, the team that was the number 1 seed in the AFC last year. Are you expecting, is it because everybody else got better and you don't feel like the Titans did? Okay. You got one more year on Derrick Henry, more wear on the tires. He got hurt last year.
I think the defense is good. I think the defense will be better than it was last year. I just don't know and let me prove a point here.
Okay.
Here are the quarterbacks of the AFC teams ahead of the Tennessee Titans. Russell Wilson, Matt Ryan, Derek Carr, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen. You notice that Ryan Tannehill does not seem to fit in that group?
No.
There's the problem.
There's only one that I think he's even close to, and it's Matt Ryan.
And before you say, but Malik Willis, yeah, he had a decent run last night and had a couple decent deep balls against guys that may or may not be working as interns for us in a few weeks.
Right. It will not change anything. It might change the hopes for the future, but right now your quarterback is Ryan Tannehill, and it's going to continue to be that way. There is no quarterback controversy with this team. The biggest controversy they have is what are the weapons going to look like outside of Derrick Henry.
I worry a little bit about the weapons, but it's not even that. It's just the accumulation of the offense. I'm looking at a slew of track teams and one that I just don't think can keep up with that. Can they make the playoffs? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Are they really a threat? I'm going to say no. I think you're in that nebulous spot of you're good, but you're not great. And there are a lot of great teams.
Mm-hmm. The one thing that I felt this team was missing, chief among everything else, last year, where they slipped up in the playoffs and got beat in the first round, or the divisional round when they played their first game, was the secondary. You got to address the secondary. Secondary's got to get better. They may have because of experience, but you didn't bring in anything other than a rookie that I don't know what he's going to be.
And I think he'll be fine, but I don't see this offense as dynamic. And there are a lot of those in the AFC.
Mm-hmm. Are you worried about Treylon Burks?
No. He's a rookie. He's a yak rookie. He'll be what he is. He'll look similar to A.J. Brown.
But you're not worried about
Brown
the reports on his conditioning and all of that.
He has asthma. It was Nashville in July. Those two things don't add up particularly well.
All right, the Tennessee Titans are number 15. At number 14,
the Denver Broncos.
Russell Wilson is in town now, and you got questions about the health of the weapons already.
I'm going to say the exact same thing I said about Tennessee in reverse. I feel like your offense can be very good, can be very dynamic, can be very threatening. I do not know what to make of your defense. And in a conference where you're in a division where you have to go up against Justin Herbert, Pat Mahomes, and Derek Carr 6 of your 17 games,
mm-hmm.
having any forms of questions scares me. Especially when you don't have – the offense is very good. I don't know that the offense is going to be great. And first-year head coach, there's just several things that push you down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Still good, but I can't put you in the real Super Bowl contender tier. I think you're a year away from that.
Yep. A lot of hype for Javonte Williams this year. I feel like his breakout year is coming next year, though.
Oh, I think he's going to be fantastic. Now, we'll say if you go to the YouTubes over the weekend, you will see an episode of Mullet Man Candidate where we talk about Javonte Williams, and I had a take about him that maybe where he's being drafted is to something. You'll have to watch to find out.
Interesting. Mullet Man and the Canadan. Look for that on the YouTube stream this weekend. At number 13.
This is the team that NFL.com had at 4, and I audibly laughed out loud. The San Francisco 49ers.
I don't see how.
I like see everything.
But I don't see how you can get to that. They're one of the top 5 teams in the NFL with a giant question mark at quarterback.
I see the potential for that. But in a preseason ranking where you know virtually nothing of what you're getting at quarterback, that's just too high.
Mm-hmm.
It's too high.
It's way too much faith in just coaching staff.
And I have 2 teams right here, right in a row, that I like virtually everything on the team. I have some questions about the quarterbacks. There's just one that I like the ancillary pieces better than I like San Francisco. That's how they wound up at 13, and this team ended up at 12.
Which is?
The New Orleans Saints.
Aha.
There's a little report. It's out there. The Twitters. It appears that Alvin Kamara's suspension is going to happen in 2023, not 2022, which pretty much reaffirms everything I've said about New Orleans. He's my favorite running back in the NFL. I had him at 2 among fantasy running backs in the Mullet's money-making draft kit, and I'm going to keep banging the drum for that. I like this team a lot. And I think Jameis, the mixture of Jameis, Michael Thomas, Olave, Jarvis Landry, Kamara, those are enough to scare you over the top that the offense will be exactly what Dennis Allen wants it to be. And the defense is just going to be stifling.
They are going to be terrifying because at every level they have talent. I think the least talented part of the defense, to me, is the line. But that's a line that includes Cameron Jordan.
I have no fear. I have no fear of anything on the defense.
Right. Okay.
I have a little fear of the offensive line because you did lose the veteran stalwart. But now I think that guy's on the right side, and you have a big, terrifying rookie on the left side that seems to have a mean streak about 14 miles long.
He's just come in and enforcing his will is Trevor Penning, and hopefully he can contain that to camp, though. This is not going to go well if he starts picking fights in real games.
I like the mean streak. I like this team. And some people say, well, that's too high. I think they win this division. I heard Colin Cowherd earlier say Tampa's going to walk this division. Maybe Tom Brady should take off the week they go to Germany. LMNO stupid. But you have the Bucs ahead of them. I do.
Yeah.
Not by much.
Can't wait to hear that one. All right, so the New Orleans Saints are at 12. Who you got ahead of them?
The Indianapolis Colts.
Indianapolis, obviously the running game, the star there, but you got Matt Ryan to come in. I've said my one qualm with this team is the weapons. I don't believe in the receivers.
I believe in Michael Pittman a lot. I think Alec Pierce is fine. They do everything in reverse. The quarterback is good enough and the running back is terrifying enough that you're never going to be able to spread out and keep them from beating you over the top. And now that you have Matt Ryan, you got a guy that can do that. I just don't overly care. I think they probably add somebody when roster cutdowns happen because there will be a receiver that gets cut that doesn't make any sense, and he'll probably end up with the Indianapolis Colts. It's fine. There's one position where I think you can have a deficiency and still be fine. It's receiver. Because there are about 75 of them in this league that are good enough to do the job.
This is the team chief among all of them that I look at their schedule and go, they could win a lot of games.
A lot.
I mean, I don't think 13 wins is too out of the realm of
They're my
possibility.
favorite over in all of the NFL.
And that might sound crazy, but you got to remember who they're playing, who they're in the division with. Jacksonville's going to be tougher than they were, but still. And they did lose to them last year and kept them out of the playoffs. I know all of that. It's not good when Indianapolis goes to Jacksonville. I think it's, 6 years running now that they haven't won a game in Jacksonville? But you get some wins built in with the division schedule. And then you throw in games against the Commanders who could be not good.
They're 11th
the Steelers.
they're 11th in the power rankings. How many games on their 17-game schedule are against teams that are ranked higher than them?
6.
There's obviously 2 with the Chargers because they're in the division. I haven't said them yet. There's 2 more, and they're with the 2 teams ranked directly in front of them. They're 11. The other 2 games are against 10 and 9. That's it. They should be favored in 13 games that they play this year. And I'll be honest with you, their over-under is 9.5. I don't see any way this team doesn't win 10 games.
And Indianapolis Colts at number 11 brings us to the top 10. We'll get into it up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. An accident reported 40 westbound is crawling between Brevard Road and mile marker 41. A disabled vehicle has the left lane blocked at mile marker 41. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and Brevard Road. 26 westbound, then stop and go between Brevard Road and I-40. 26 on the eastbound side, light delays between Brevard Road and Long Shoals Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. Hendersonville Road, northbound, slow between Mills Gap Road and Overlook Road. On Brevard Road, northbound, delays between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway near the NC Arboretum and near Inca Village. Sardis Road, moving from Sandhill Road to Brevard Road, is slow. Smoky Park Highway, southbound, but from the Buncombe County Sports Park to Pisgah Highway, traffic is stop and go. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has everything you need for school at prices that won't hold you back. Right now, Staples comp books and number 2 pencils are just 50 cents and 2 pocket paper folders at just 25 cents each. In-store only, offer ends 8/27, limit 30. Don't send your kids back to school, send them forward at Staples.
Did you know audio memory lasts 6 times longer than visual memory? That's why businesses advertise with iHeartMedia, the #1 audio company in the country. Reach consumers with radio, podcasting, streaming, and more. Make your business a household name and visit iHeartAdvertising.com or call 844-BUY-RADIO. Grow your reach, grow your business. Call iHeartMedia today. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com or call 844-BUY-RADIO.
COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too. If you feel symptoms, even if they're mild, you should test fast. Test positive and at high risk for severe COVID-19? Then act fast with authorized oral treatments that can be taken at home and must be taken within 5 days from when symptoms begin. COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too by asking your healthcare provider if an oral treatment is right for you. Learn about a treatment option at treatcv19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Roots and wings. The 2 greatest gifts any parent can give their kid. But when it's time for them to head off to college, there's also groceries, laundry detergent, notebook paper, ironing instructions, and futons that assemble with parts left over. At Ingles, we have all the comforts of home right around the corner. We know that life's biggest steps are best taken with faith and trust in the ones you love the most. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Now, sometimes it don't always work for an injury, but it practice makes it perfect.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene, and we are rolling through the 2022 preseason NFL Power Rankings.
Judy Star.
We are into the top 10 now in the NFL. And who just barely makes it into the top 10?
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Vegas Raiders at 10. All right.
I can't have me higher than this. I really believe in the Raiders. I like this team. I think Josh McDaniels is on a tour. Let's call it a tour.
Mm-hmm.
To prove that it wasn't Bill, it wasn't Tom. I am a very smart offensive mind in this league, and he's got the weapons to do it. The question is the defense.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you added Patrick Graham as the defensive coordinator just gives me a level of comfort. That mixed with the fact you have Chandler Jones and Max Crosby.
Right.
That tells me you're going to be just fine.
The pass rush is going to be really good. I don't think there's a way, barring catastrophic injuries, that it's not going to be good. You look at the rest of the defense, though, and I still believe I still believe that the secondary is the Achilles heel.
And the way to mitigate that is by having a tremendous pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not as worried about the secondary as you are. I like Nate Hobbs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Rocky Sin is better than what I saw last year. I'm not telling you this is going to be a Pro Bowl laden secondary. Plus I like the safeties. I think giving Trayvon Moehrig and Jonathan Abram to Patrick Graham is going to look a little different than what you saw last year.
Mm-hmm.
Play to those strengths. I'm fine with it. And adding Denzel Perriman that's a net positive as well.
Mm-hmm. Offensive weapons are there. Obviously, we talk all the time about Darren Waller and Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow, Josh Jacobs seeking a contract year. There's been the rumor that they were putting him out there in the preseason to showcase him for a trade, but
they're not.
McDaniels says that is not the case.
I don't even care about Josh McDaniels saying it. Coaches lie all the time. If he's available, it's news to pretty much anybody I've talked to that works anywhere near the NFL.
Right. They did not pick up the fifth-year option on him because paying running backs is just not something that you really should do this day and age in the NFL. I do like this team. I still think their offensive line is suspect, and that's going to be a problem.
And see, I'm not overly worried about that either. I like three of the spots on your line.
Okay.
Wherever Dylan Parham plays, Andre James is a good-ish center in this league, and Colton Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's two deficiencies.
I was going to say
the best lines in this league have one.
Yeah, I was going to say Alex Leatherwood is a turnstile at best.
He should be playing guard. Man, I wish they had a tackle of any kind to put out there. Just slide him in the guard, and then all of a sudden it's all hunky-dunky.
Mm-hmm.
Just, okay, stop trying to outsmart the league.
But
we all told you he was a guard.
But Thayer Munford.
He's a year away from being a year away. Please don't put him out there.
I agree.
Or Brandon Parker, for that matter.
I completely agree. Number 10, the Las Vegas Raiders. At number 9,
the Philadelphia Eagles.
The hype train on the Eagles is just, I mean, it's really high this year. Some people even have them higher than this in the power rankings.
I believe having them higher than this is a tidbit foolish.
Right. Wishful thinking is what
mainly
it is.
because I can't figure out, okay, I'm looking at the list of the 8 teams I have left. You're going to have to really slow it down when you explain to me how they're better than any of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I like them. I feel like better than anybody does. The line's good. I think the defense is going to be markedly improved. And adding James Bradbury on the opposite side of Darius Slay is one of the most underrated moves of the offseason.
Agreed. It's weird to think how fast this all turned around.
No, it's not, because this is a good franchise. This is what good franchises do. Oh, we had a down year. We'll be with you momentarily. Right. Give us just a second.
But when they hitched their wagon to Jalen Hurts when they still had Carson Wentz, you thought, this is disaster. This is a problem. Carson Wentz goes. Jalen Hurts came in last year and had a pretty decent season.
The Philadelphia Eagles are proof positive that so long as you have a quarterback on a rookie deal, it does not matter how limited they are, you can still build an outrageous team around them.
Mm-hmm.
And that will allow you to win a lot of games.
Number 8.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
It's exactly where I had them in my power rankings as well. I can't see a path where they don't take a step back. Patrick Mahomes is still incredible, but I think, obviously Travis Kelce is going to be great. But I still don't believe you can run the ball.
You don't believe in Isaiah Pacheco, who's been trending on Twitter for 4 solid days?
No, not really. I really don't.
You should. He'll be the starter on this team within 1 calendar year.
Okay. But until then, you got Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Ronald Jones Jr.
I could care less about who you run the ball with. I could absolutely care less. And
Well,
I don't care about the receiving core either, if you want me to be really honest.
Why?
I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
They have 5 guys that are capable between low-end 3s and high-end 4s in the NFL. I've Pat Mahomes. I'm going to elevate every receiver around me to some point. My ranking of them has less than 0 to do with their offense. It is 100% about their defense because I'm going to keep saying this, there are 10 dynamic offenses in the AFC. I don't have even the foggiest of a clue of how you're supposed to stop any of them. Give me the unit on that defense that you feel good about.
The line.
I don't know how.
Why?
They're one injury. First of all, it's the thinnest defensive line in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But we added Carlos Dunlap. Okay, that's your 5. That's your 5.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody gets hurt, and you are in trouble because every starter will have to play 60 snaps a game.
Mm-hmm.
Because back behind that are guys that should not be on NFL rosters.
Chris Jones is an incredible talent. There's no questioning that.
And then
Frank Clark
is the most overrated edge rusher in the NFL, and it's not even kind of close.
Maybe so, but he's trimmed down in the offseason. He's, you know.
So have you. That doesn't mean I'm scared of you rushing my quarterback.
But I think you should be. I think you should be. You should look at a guy who was, playing a little more overweight, a little less athletic than he had been, trimming down, looking like he's agile again. That's going to be good player or bad player?
Frank Clark?
Yeah.
He's fine.
Really?
He's a situational pass rusher. Let me tell you a fun stat about Frank Clark. He had 24 sacks in 2 years. Mm-hmm. His 2 double-digit sack years.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what he averages in the 6 seasons other than that?
5.
A half. Or 5. 4.5 sacks. It's between 4.5 and 5, and for some reason I couldn't get that out of my mouth.
Okay.
He's not dynamic. There's nothing terrifying about him. He's done this, and he's also done this with Chris Jones beside him.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of hard to do. When teams put that much of an emphasis on one player and you cannot take advantage of the one-on-one, you're irrelevant to me. And now you're getting older. It's very rare that I see a 30-year-old guy get better. And he's not that guy.
Okay.
I don't feel like you have anybody outside of Chris Jones that can really scare me about getting to my quarterback. Your secondary is young, and you don't have Tyrann Mathieu. The defense scares me to death for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. Next up, at number 7,
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay, that's too low.
It's not, though.
It is.
It's okay. You tell me the team that they're supposed to be in front of.
It's too low.
I can play this game until 5:58 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you tell me who they're supposed to be in front
Packers.
of. You're out of your mind. Their defense is 10 times what yours is.
It's not even close to 10 times what our defense is, and our offense is at least 2 times better.
Do you run the ball as well as they do?
No, don't have to.
Okay, so you're worried about your receivers. You remember that thing I just said about 4 minutes ago where I don't even kind of care?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even kind of care. I don't.
Okay,
so you don't have that one guy. First of all, their division is way worse than yours. Their schedule is way worse than yours. And they have Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. And I'll be honest with you, if you didn't have Tom Brady, I wouldn't have you in the top 16. That's the only reason you're here. I just think there is a lot of regression in Tampa Bay, and everybody thinks that Tom Brady is the great Band-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
He's 46 years old. Ask yourself
45.
this question.
45.
Whatever. Ask yourself this question. Tom Brady gets hurt tomorrow or goes on some German vacation, whatever he does, abducted by space aliens.
Mm-hmm.
How many games you win?
5, maybe.
There you go. End of message.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Love plays for the Green Bay Packers. I still give him 9. I did this because I knew you were going to say that.
Ugh.
It's how bad the schedule is, for one. 2, I know I can just run the ball 40 times a game. It doesn't matter. You can't do that.
No, we can't.
And with every offensive line injury, I get more scared and more scared and more scared about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I told you from the jump in May after the draft, your line gets hurt, you're in trouble. I've seen Tom Brady behind a hurt offensive line. It did not go well. Oh, you still made the playoffs and got smoked when you got there.
And it started with Ryan Jensen. And that's one.
And everything comes tumbling after that. I didn't love the line as it sat. I didn't. And now as it keeps getting hurt, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. There is not that big of a difference between Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. There's just not. And the fact he's 45, since you I still maintain he was 46 at some point. I think he lost a year.
No,
I
he just had his birthday
I don't buy
the
it.
other day.
I just don't buy it.
Yeah.
I think you're fine. I think you're the third best team in the NFC. That's where you're at. Can Tom lead you to better than that? Sure. But if I'm looking at who I feel better about, no. I like Green Bay's coach better. I think their quarterback's equivalent, and their defense is just flat out better. If you can ding me on that all you want to, I think you're out of your mind, because I would probably say Green Bay has the scariest defense in the NFL outside of New Orleans to me.
Okay. I still like Baltimore's defense better. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying I think we're the better team.
And Chris McCann has a very good point here. Brady's sipping Mai Tais in the Bahamas as we speak. The more I've thought about that, the more that is starting to slightly bother me.
Why?
That's a weird request. Just to say, we talked about it. Yeah, I'm going to go take a vacation in the middle of camp after I've already retired. Okay. The thing about Tom Brady was he was always the ultimate grinder. Would 30-year-old Tom Brady have asked to do that? No,
maybe not.
You don't know. He haunted my nightmares.
You say he's on vacation, but you don't know why he's gone. You don't know what he's doing. And there are reports out there that his mom is sick, and that's what he's doing.
Okay, well, that's weird, because Todd Bowles said we talked about this in the offseason. So he was talking about his sick mother before she got sick. And that's not come out from anywhere.
I don't know why she's sick. Maybe she's had cancer. She's had surgery scheduled, and he's spending time. I don't know what it is. I'm just telling you. Y'all are acting like this is a big deal. This is a 45-year-old quarterback who needs no preseason work.
Okay. I've heard that, he doesn't need preseason work. You know that tends to go one of two ways. Hurt or horribly ineffective. Now, this is Tom, so I'm not saying he's going to be horribly ineffective.
Right.
It does tend to hurt. They have camps for a reason. And you're saying, we don't know. We don't know. There's a lot of smoke that he's on vacation, and they talked about this beforehand. And I'm just telling you, that screams to me, I don't respect Todd Bowles at all. That's what that would scream to me. And I had a fear of that anyway. And then now I'm not saying that I watched him get run over by Ryan Fitzpatrick for 3 years. Oh, wait. Yeah, I did. Actually, yeah, I did. I saw a locker room care so little about Todd Bowles that a linebacker punched the quarterback. I saw that with my own two eyes.
Right.
And nobody seems to be talking about that. That's a thing. You think that ever happened in Bill's locker room? No, I'll go a step further. You think that ever happened in a Bruce Arians locker room?
No.
No, it didn't. And this is kind of like Legos. You get enough Legos and you stack them up, and all of a sudden you have a wall. Todd Bowles is very quickly building that wall for me.
Okay. Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming in at 7. We'll get into the rest of the top of the power rankings coming up next, as long as the most important thing you'll hear all day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, that cooler, lower humidity is coming on in from the northwest, and doesn't it feel good? Northwest winds and 58 degrees tonight, and all the storms down in South Carolina and Georgia and south of us for a change. Partly cloudy Saturday, high 79, mostly cloudy Sunday, 80, and the thunderstorms return next week, Monday, Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow 240 westbound eastbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Light delays 26 eastbound east of Long Shoals Road to Airport Road. 40 westbound is slow between the 26-240 split Malfunction Junction and George's Branch Road. Smoky Park Highway southbound is slow approaching Sand Hill Road and continuing to Pisgah Highway. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road, moving from Sand Hill Road to Bavard Road, traffic very slow. Bavard Road north and southbound between Sardis Road and I-26, delays. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your time.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Are you a safe driver? Are you looking to save money? With DriveWise from Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. At Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Every search you make, every click you take, they'll be watching you.
Stop companies like Google from watching you by downloading the DuckDuckGo app today. Comprehensive privacy with the push of a button. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
PhD weight loss is the perfect way to lose weight and lose it pretty quickly. 6 months of doing the PhD weight loss program, just a little over, and I have lost over 80 pounds. All you have to do is just follow the plan that they give you. They give you 80% of the food that you need to have success on the program. You follow their diet, no strenuous exercise. You don't have to walk like a dog like that trainer from Indiana. All you have to do is follow the plan, and you're going to lose the weight.
I didn't have as much weight to lose as Tank. I had always been reasonably athletic. One of the problems I had run into was my back was starting to hurt, and I wasn't sleeping well. 6 months, I'm back to my high school weight. I'm sleeping like a baby, and the aches and pains have gone away.
If you are an athlete looking to lose some pounds, it's great to have a program that was designed for athletes by a former athlete. Dr. Ashley Lucas has the perfect plan. Go to myphdweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingles Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingles Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome back into the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. And it is that time for the most important message of the day. Don't do crimes. Robbing banks, those are crimes. You don't ever want to do that. A hostage standoff in Beirut was very, very strange. I've never seen this happen. Look, I don't even try to pretend to know what is going on with Lebanon banks or what their money system or anything like that. But when I hear that there was a hostage standoff between Beirut law enforcement and a gunman, but he wasn't there to rob the bank, that seems weird to me. 42-year-old man entered the federal bank in Beirut's Hamra district with a shotgun and a canister of gasoline and threatened to set himself on fire unless the bank allowed him to take out his own money. He wasn't trying to rob the bank. The only thing he was trying to do was get his money out. Now, I don't know if this guy's on some kind of a list or, his assets have been frozen by the government or what.
There is a list. I just learned that the other day.
A list.
Tom Segura apparently ended up on a list.
Well, of course, we know there are lists.
Well, he took a picture of a bank teller because he wanted to set her up with his friend. and he wound up on a list and had to call the bank to see if he could actually continue to bank there.
Oh, no.
Don't take pictures of bank tellers.
Yeah,
it's
don't
a
do
bad
that.
idea.
Wow. Yeah, apparently this is an ongoing thing in Lebanon. Like the banks are holding on to the money and they don't want to let it go. When you have to threaten violence, threatening to set yourself on fire is a little beyond the pale, I think. But still, don't do crimes. Don't threaten violence in banks.
I'm going to tell the story. You tell me what state it came from, and no, it's not Florida. I was dedicated to, I think I've told 3 Florida stories this week. I needed another state.
Okay, all right.
A man was wandering through backyards, apparently looking for things to steal. Well, he found a lawnmower. Stole the lawnmower.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a riding lawnmower. It doesn't say it in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Steals the lawnmower. Residents in the neighborhood see him, and they call the police. A chase ensues.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, it's on the lawnmower, but that's not it said in the story, so you recite the story how you choose to.
Right.
Apparently, he is cornered by police at a river, but he sees a kayak. He hops in the kayak and tries to swim or paddle his way to freedom.
Okay.
There's only one problem. He does not know how to kayak. And so the cops just walked down the river. Just give it a minute. We know how we know how raging this river is.
Right.
And this feller does not appear to be an avid kayaker.
Oh.
He capsized and had to swim to shore where authorities were waiting. He is now charged with burglary, theft of property, attempt to elude and resist arrest. What state did this happen in?
Mississippi.
Nope, but you're close. Alabama. If you're going to try to get away in a vehicle of some kind, you should know how to operate the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do crimes.
NFL Power Rankings rolling on here. We are down to the top 6 now. We got to get all these in before Jeremy goes crazy at the end of the hour to give you all the banger picks in tonight's preseason action in the NFL.
The next one's pretty easy because it's the one we just talked about.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers for 7. The Green Bay Packers come in at 6.
I like Green Bay better than I like Tampa. There is a lot of noise around Tampa that just bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's really not around Green Bay. This is the quietest offseason they've had in what feels like 10 years.
Agreed.
Other than apparently Aaron Rodgers likes to do ayahuasca or whatever that weird narcotic is called.
Somebody said it yesterday. I will never call it anything other than hiawatha now.
I don't know what that means.
Because that's what I called it the other day.
It's been a quiet offseason. I really like this defense for Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have any I don't care. I don't care. The combination of Alan Lazard and Watson, Romeo Dubs. This is your daily Romeo Dubs. You should be drafting him in your fantasy leagues. He is that guy. I think you're going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because if you look at the schedule, they don't have to be super dynamic offensively. They have to be as good defensively as I think they are and have Aaron Rodgers. Those two things, you're going to be just fine. Okay. Worst case scenario, you're the 2 in the NFC, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Top 5. Who's the final team in the top 5?
The Baltimore Ravens.
The Baltimore Ravens have a lot of hope for this season.
It's a very good team.
They hope they stay healthy.
It's a very good team.
They hope they don't get ravaged by injury. And they're another team that you look at and go, I'm not certain about the wide receiver weapons, but I also have a scheme that is not dependent on that.
That's the thing. I don't care. Oh, they've only got Rashad, but I don't care. That's not how this offense runs in the first place. They've got 3 tight ends. If you watched the preseason game last night, I got news for you. Isaiah Likely is a dog.
Mm-hmm.
He is very, very good. Might have told you that in the lead up to the draft. And that doesn't even include Charlie Kohler.
Right.
This team could look like they're playing in 1974 because I could see a ton of 2 and 3 tight end sets. The receiver thing just doesn't bother me. The talent on this roster is insane.
Mm-hmm.
You saw it last night. Kyle Hamilton played the entire first quarter. because they already have Chuck Clark.
Right.
Like we have to get you acclimated. Yes, they care more about the preseason than a lot of other teams do. Woo. They will be the leading rushing team in the NFL, and I'm not sure it'll even be close.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe in this team. If the 4 teams in front of them were not so good, they would be higher. But they are, and they're not.
They are, and they're not. All right. Next, at number 4.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Last year's Super Bowl runner-up. I still have them higher than this. I still have them at 2 on mine.
I don't know how. I don't know how you think the 1, 2, 3 was the first thing I pinned in when I started doing this.
Mm-hmm.
The top 3 and the bottom 3. Everything else, there was a little play. There was no play in the rest. And that's not a slight at Cincinnati. It's just not. I don't think defensively you're as good as the other 2 teams in the AFC that are left. I don't worry as much about a hangover, but there are a lot of things that went into Cincinnati that are still in my head. Is Zach Taylor really this good? I don't know. He might be.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a question mark. Is the defense really that good? I don't love the linebackers. I mean, outside of Logan Wilson, I don't love your linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily love your secondary. I love Jesse Bates. There's a lot of things that I really do love. And you got to understand, I'm nitpicking here. I'm not saying that you should be in the teens. You are an elite Super Bowl contender. But it all begins and ends with Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily feel that way about the 3 in front of you. They all have great quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to be MVP level for you to be this good. It's a nitpick with the Bengals. They're fantastic. Okay. The offense is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And the line being improved is only going to make them more terrifying. But I am going to reiterate, I don't think it's as improved as everybody makes it out to be.
Well, only 3 teams left, so that means the Los Angeles Chargers got to be close.
Go Chargers, go!
At number 3, the Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert is an elite quarterback in this league. They have added Khalil Mack to this defense, along with J.C. Jackson. They're going to be really good.
The defense looks like something that you would concoct on Madden.
Uh-huh.
It is insane.
This is your ultimate team.
And that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's an ultimate team.
It looks like a Madden ultimate team. And so that's how they wind up ahead of the Bengals to me. All right, let's say Justin Herbert gets abducted by space aliens. You're still going to be able to run the ball, and you're still going to play really, really good defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's a level of security that I just don't have with the Bengals. I won't be shocked if the that's the first time I've done that in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
The Los Angeles Chargers win the Super Bowl. And I'll be honest with you, as a card-carrying member of Bill's Mafia, the Chargers are the team that scares me the most.
Really?
They are the team that scares me the most. The reason that I'm so high on Buffalo, I am not sure they could come east and beat me.
Mm-hmm.
That's another part of this. All right, if you told me the Chargers played the Bengals in the AFC Championship game and it was in Cincinnati, I'm probably leaning Cincinnati. That's how close these 3 are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll even throw Baltimore into that. That's how close those 4 are. There is a divide after that. But this Chargers team is terrifying. The only thing that worries me is Brandon Staley. Did you learn something from last year that there are risks and then there are risks?
Right.
Some you should take and some you shouldn't.
And he has addressed that many times over already and said, yeah, I did learn some things last year.
Rob Johnson said worst run defense in the NFL last year. Jackson and Mack will help, but I still don't think it's going to be elite. There's a player that got added to this that nobody talks about, Sebastian Joseph Day.
Yeah.
That's going to help a bit because he is a gigantic human. And he didn't get the respect he deserved with the Rams because Aaron Donald was right beside him. I'm not worried about that. Here's another part of that. You want to know the best way to keep teams from running on you? Keep scoring on them.
Mm-hmm.
And with Justin Herbert, I'm going to do that quite a bit.
Right. You get ahead of them by so much, they can't hurt you with the run anymore.
And I have a saying about running that I love to say that I can't say on this show. look at the other teams in the division and realize that only one of them is a really good running team.
Seems weird 5 years ago if you'd have said two of the top teams in the NFL are going to be from the city of Los Angeles. You would have told us we were crazy. But after the Rams won the Super Bowl last year, you got to have them at the top.
Number 2, the Los Angeles Rams.
Is there anything to the Matt Stafford injury?
It worries me. It worries me. Because there are just certain issues. There are certain issues that bother me because it's not a thing of, oh, well, you take 6 weeks and it'll be better. The way this was equated to me is it's basically like dead arm to a baseball pitcher. You don't just take 3 weeks off and all of a sudden that's better.
Mm-hmm.
Especially not when you're 4 weeks from having to line up in a regular season game against the number 1 team in the league.
The usual way that goes is maybe the guy looks good initially after taking the hiatus.
And then it wears out again.
Exactly. And then the drop-off happens or the catastrophic injury happens. Hopefully that won't be in the stars, I guess I should say, for Matthew Stafford this year. But the LA Rams, defending Super Bowl champions, they've got all the weapons. I'm still expecting that they will add Odell Beckham Jr. to this team the further we get into the season.
I am too.
They've got weapons. They've got stars. They have the
barring Green Bay
firepower.
just loses their mind and goes, here's $1 billion. Just take it. We need a 1.
Which wouldn't be a horrible idea for the Packers. And then that brings
I don't
us
have to wax poetic about this
to
team because we
number 1.
talk about them all the time. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Josh Allen, can he lead them to a Super Bowl?
Yes. This feels like Patrick Holt said it in the comments. Excuse me, Chris McCann said it in the comments. They're on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Because this is the 3rd year that you've been the favorite in the AFC. You haven't even so much as gotten to one. That's one of those things that you pound into the heads of your entire team the entire offseason. Nobody believes in me.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody believes in you because you're the same team that lost repeatedly in the Super Bowl and wide left and all of the things. All right, watch this. And that's where I think Buffalo's at. They don't have a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Legitimately, I've gone up and down the roster. They don't have a weakness. They're the only team in the NFL I can say that about. They do not have a weakness.
Okay.
The second corner, and I'm being very nitpicky about it because that corner is learning a scheme that he has never played in before.
Is there any concern that Tre'Davious White will not be back and fully healthy?
I don't care if he doesn't play the first 6 weeks of the year. I care less. So, is he ready for the first playoff game? Because I'm going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a question of how healthy am I.
The offense is that good.
The offense is terrifying. They have 3 running backs that none of them are great between the tackles runners, but they're very dynamic in space with the ball in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a ginormous quarterback that can get 3 yards in a cloud of dust anytime I want him to. It's a weird build on a team, but I am just absolutely drunk on the Bills.
Yeah, the hype is super high for the Buffalo Bills.
Next week, you might see how high. I'm not going to say anything beyond that.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. When we come back from the break, you're going to get a little taste of what is to come with the upcoming football season. Jeremy's got all the money-making picks for you tonight in the NFL preseason.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow 240 westbound and eastbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound slow between the 26-240 split and George's Branch Road. 40 westbound, again, very busy between George's Branch Road and Newfound Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Smoky Park Highway southbound, heavy delays between Sand Hill Road and Pisgah Highway. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road, moving from Sand Hill Road to Bavard Road, slow. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Tyson Furniture.
At Tyson Furniture, we have a huge selection of furniture, honest values, and great service. We're a big store, and Black Mountain has wonderful restaurants and interesting shops to explore. Visit us at Tyson Furniture in Black Mountain, where beautiful homes begin.
Oh, are you seeing these readings? This is incredible.
Short-staffed, Marco's climate research facility is in the eye of the storm. The atmospheric pressure to find more weather specialists is mounting.
Man, this is going to be a big job. We're going to need a bigger team.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Betting on baseball can be a grind, but VEASAN has a podcast that can help. VEASAN's Baseball Betting Show with host Greg Peterson.
I think it's just so important when taking a look at this run line is taking a look at the home and road splits.
Greg goes through every game on the slate and gives you his betting analysis.
This is a spot in which I did wind up setting my total at 8.3 with the way that Consola has been pretty unhittable. And keep in mind, this is still a night game out there in Los Angeles. Ball not necessarily flying.
Listen to the Baseball Betting Show with Greg Peterson on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Coffee's the closer's only.
Give them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
If you've never seen this segment, I've been waiting to do this for like 9 months. Every week during the college football season, I come through and go crazy. But to do that, you need a few preseason reps, so we're going to use the NFL preseason to do that. The best way to check how to bet preseason games, check the record of the coaches. There are 2 that are terrible. There are 2 that are great. I'll give them all 4 to you. The Green Bay Packers are a 2.5-point dog tonight against the San Francisco 49ers. They're absolutely horrible in the preseason because Matt LaFleur doesn't care. Give me the 49ers minus the 2.5. The Bengals are a 1.5-point favorite tonight, and that's stupid. Zach Taylor cares less about the preseason than I do about politics. Give me the Cardinals plus 1.5. And you got to take the guys that actually care. Mike Tomlin cares. Pittsburgh's a 3.5-point favorite against Seattle. A, Seattle's roster is dog water. B, they have a slew of quarterbacks. Seattle doesn't have one. This one's easy. Pittsburgh minus 3.5. And finally, my favorite. I love him so much because he cares way too much about the preseason. It's Frank Reich of the Indianapolis Colts. They're a 1.5-point favorite against Bills Mafia, who couldn't care less if they tried. Give me the Colts minus 1.5.
I love it. He goes crazy each and every week during the football season on Fridays.
Wait till they're real games.
Lot of fun.
Wait till they're real games. And this year, you'll be able to see it.
Again, the preseason is just so unpredictable that most people are just going to tap out and not
for
bet
me.
Preseason games.
I have my own doll hairs on all 4 of those.
Nice. Nice. We got 5 games in the NFL preseason. Tonight we will recap all the major things that happened in the preseason openers for all of these teams coming up on Monday. We'll be back here with you in the Ingles studio at 3 o'clock. Have a great one.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, that cooler, lower humidity is coming on in from the northwest, and doesn't it feel good? Northwest winds and 58 degrees tonight, and all the storms down in South Carolina and Georgia and south of us for a change. Partly cloudy Saturday, high 79, mostly cloudy Sunday, 80, and the thunderstorms return next week, Monday, Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Very slow, 26 westbound west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound slow between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. 40 westbound again, stop and go near Newfound Road. Inca Village area, Sardis Road moving from Sand Hill Road to Bavard Road, heavy delays. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road northbound, light delays approaching Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
63 Americans a day die by gun suicide. By storing our guns safely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo, we can give our loved ones a second chance at life. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W22.